no. Oh my God!
I want to make you tell the audience that's
No, it's fine. We're moving on.
It's just for us.
We've had some technical issues. Everything is fine. Seth is streaming from his phone right now, but look at the quality of this man's phone. Look at that. Look how great he looks.
Every pore. Just look at him.
Oh my God.
Count them all.
Okay, so I'm Tommy Cotton. With me, as always, Dan Barron, Addy G, Seth Lee, Roman Milan. We are back. We did it. We got the stream started. We had some issues, but everything's fine. We're here to play Manifest. But before we jump into the actual play, which we're going to do hastily here, let's take some time. These guys have some stuff to talk to you about. Dan's doing the charity, so Dan, don't speed through the charity, but everyone else speed through your stuff.
Yeah, your stuff is all our stuff. My stuff is something in the real world. So our charity this month, in honor of Native American Heritage Month, is the First Nations Development Institute. First Nations' mission is to strengthen Native American economies to support healthy Native communities. They invest in and create institutions and models that strengthen Native asset control and support economic development. First Nation improves economic conditions for Native Americans through technical assistance and training, advocacy and policy, and direct grants in key areas. They are a great organization. They do important work. If you've got the time, money, or bandwidth in any way to help them out, we would appreciate it because they deserve it. That's me. It's actually just a short blurb. Their About Us was very concise.
Nice.
The end. Someone else.
Me. I'll go now. I'll go fast. Hi, I'm Roman. You might know me from this stream. Welcome back. Welcome back. That's all. Thank you. No, welcome back to the stream. We're here a little bit after 8 every Tuesday, 8 o'clock Central. If you don't want to remember that, hit that heart and that bell underneath. They follow, make Twitch tell you when we're on. Don't remember, make Twitch tell you. Do it. And then there's a big purple button and you can subscribe and then they'll tell you when it's on. And sometimes if you have Amazon Prime, I have news for you. You're sending $5 a month for Jeff Bezos to lick and then put in his pocket. Take that money out of his pocket and more importantly, out of his mouth. By giving it to us, everyone gets a free Prime subscription. And if you give it to us, we are extremely grateful. All that support goes back into the stream. You can also gift subs, which is very cool. But tonight as well, we are continuing our bits goal for our Light in the Darkness radio plays that we will be producing. Once we hit this goal, we're going to start production on getting sound effects and scripts writing and the editing and all that cool fun stuff to get some radio plays and play them of Rico Kazek, paranormal investigator Rico Kazek, and his adventures across the Badlands, as seen in last week's episode, sort of short radio play versions of that. Whenever we hit that goal. But what's most important is we love you all and we appreciate you all. Thank you so much for rocking with us. We love rocking with you. And we will keep on rocking in the free world. Over to Addie to tell you more things.
I will tell you more things. This is
Ryak with a bit timber.
Okay.
Dono 7666.
I'm going through. Ryak, you're crazy.
Thank you, Ryak. We love you. And look at that. He just doubled up our progress on the radio play.
Anyway,
it's going down. He yelled bit timber.
Okay. Oh my God. Anyway, we have a Patreon. And if you want to get behind the scenes cool stuff and adventure and a blog post and other stuff we definitely put on there that I know about every month, you should
recordings.
Podcast recordings early, and they're so important. Why would I forget that part? The most important part. You can go to patreon.com/waypoint game designs. It's in the chat. Become a patron. It is I'm so distractible right now. This is really terrible. I'm going to keep going. So it is a great way. It's a direct line to us. You also get to, if you don't already, join the Discord. And also we have a special chat room for our patrons, which is like how we hang out with them more often. And yeah, it's a great place. You should join. You should go there now and you should join. And all the money basically goes, as always, to manifest in the stream. I have other updates, but not this week. Goodbye. Go talk to Tommy.
I'm gonna make-
and
Yeah,
his
shout out.
terrible
I need to make a quick auxiliary announcement. I say, do you remember? I bitsing in Bitvember. Thank you to Laura as well.
Ryak and Lauren, thank you so much for the bits. We're already 23% of the way through the radio play.
Come on, really?
Oh my god, I like
Unreal.
Bitvember. That's
Wild.
pretty good. It's pretty good. All right. So we have there's all sorts of stuff happening, and I'm going to tell you all about what has happened so far in the story and what we're going to be jumping into here when we jump into the actual play. But first, before we do that, we have very cool character art from Kate May, and we're going to look at that character art while we listen to some cool music and teleport our minds to the world of Manifest together. All right, and we're back. During that time, November.
It was right there.
No, I'm not taking.
Although
you know what?
I do
That's
like
a
all of
bit
them.
Too far, goddammit. I stood by. I stood by. While all of these other fucking Bittober happened, I stood by. Okay, I am not. I September. I was there. I'm not taking Novembits. I won't do it.
Do you like November better?
I guess so. Yeah.
Fucking Seth has been sitting here silently suffering while we've all been making bit puns on.
Whatever you all celebrate, it's valid, and we support you.
Yeah.
It's the holiday season.
I think you're being a little bit over dramatic.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Roman.
2000 for Novembits from Ryak. Okay, one thing before we jump into the actual play, because I forgot, up here in the corner you can see we all have little grit counters. You can spend your channel points to give grit to the various players. Now, I do need to say, if you open up your channel point options and you see stuff for like Drifter commentary and +1 grit to Rico and weird stuff like that, NPC accent wheel and all that, refresh your page, because those are from last week and they just got updated live. So it should be the normal stuff. That's give grit to Dex, Eloise, Porter, Gus, and myself. You can spend your viewer grit to give us grit. Grit is an expendable resource in Manifest that allows you to manipulate your dice rolls to make it so that the dice rolls that are important to you go the way you want them to. We got another 2000. Yeah, we got the Novembits from Ryak. No. Oh, no. Did I click on fucking Scruff's not back?
He's back in our hearts.
He's back in our hearts. Don't give grit to him though, because it's just gonna go
He
off
doesn't
screen.
need grit in our hearts.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
need Grit to keep our hearts beating to keep Scruff alive in there.
yeah. I've already taken him off. I clicked on all the ones that had character art, and I forgot that Scruff was there, which is appropriate. He is a very sneaky boy. For all we know, he could be there the whole time. He could just be there watching everybody.
I believe that 100%.
Okay, so what has happened so far? These 4 drifters met in the town of Waypoint a very long time ago and started down a journey of investigating the symbol that led them to an underground organization called the Free People's Coalition. They are a group of freedom fighters who are attempting to relatively overthrow the status quo in Fort Dearborn, as Fort Dearborn as a territory is becoming more and more anti-illuminated. They are fighting for the illuminated people. They are led by Leo Riggs, known to the public as simply the Raven. He is trying to collect people, both illuminated and non-illuminated, to his cause, to kind of work against Fort Dearborn. Their methodology is questionable. That's what led these drifters on that path to begin with. And Leo Riggs as a leader is incredibly questionable. Those of you who watched season 1 understand exactly why. But during that journey, they also got on the radar of one of the FPC's biggest enemies, which is Brimstone Garrison, a military establishment in Fort Dearborn. It is a garrison that is kind of used for like off the books research and experiments and stuff like that. And there's a man there by the name of Ulysses Pruitt, a scientist who came out of research a handful of years ago to begin doing heinous experiments on illuminated individuals. Only just last episode, we learned that Ulysses Pruitt is not Ulysses Pruitt at all. It seems like Ulysses Pruitt has memories that far predate his existence, as he tried to control Eloise to make her see something from his memories that he wanted to find again, and then he forced her to use her detect item power to try and find it, and he couldn't. It was these fancy guns, and we heard that his name was, in fact, Owen, not Ulysses Pruitt. And those of you who watched season 1 know that we're dealing with Owen Lemaire, also known as Rufus Nash, also known as Eli. I don't think Eli had a last name. So he has ulterior motives apparently in all these experiments. He also conducted a pretty brutal experiment on Gus that seemed to give him kind of the breakthrough he needed to continue his research forward. All while that was happening, Eloise and Gus, currently captured by Brimstone Garrison. While that was happening, Dex and Porter were in the town of Waypoint, having been sort of teleported there by a mysterious mountain man in a grove. And they got the mayor of Waypoint and the sheriff of Waypoint to assist them in arming themselves and collecting a few skilled drifters to attempt to rescue Eloise and Gus from Brimstone Garrison. When we left off, Dex and Porter were in Wyatt Chafee's plane, accompanied by Arthur Ross, Lucille Roberts, Jess Weaver, and Oscar McCoy, on their way to land some distance outside of Brimstone so that they could both observe the garrison from afar and plan their next moves on how they're going to break in and rescue their friends. So we are going to pick up there. I guess maybe it's worth noting that Gus also maybe has a soft spot for Pruitt right now. He thinks that Pruitt might just be like, might just be
misunderstood.
He might just be a misunderstood villain. He may just be a fallen hero. Perhaps someone can get through to him. Maybe there's still light in him, light in the darkness, all that goodness. Okay. So, before we jump into actual play, one last thing. We'll plus 1 grit to Eloise. That is from Laura saying even better than Scruff. That puts Eloise up to 7. And then plus 1 grit to me. Carnaxis says, sorry guys, cat stepped on the phone. Oh, that's too bad, Carnaxis. Okay, +1 grit to me.
Betrayal.
Liar.
Okay. After that very, very hectic beginning to the stream, let's get into the actual play. Dex and Porter, we're starting with you. Night has fallen and you are approaching your destination. It's been fewer than a dozen hours to travel this long distance, this extremely long distance over the planet of Manifest, as White Chafee's plane, true to its reputation, is extremely fast. And because Dex had Oscar put in specific coordinates for Wyatt is heading right there, but he does kind of like he goes up and he pushes a button that has a light on it, but nothing happens when he pushes it, and instead he just goes ding dong. And then he turns around and goes, all right, everyone, so we're almost there. It's gonna be about, we're already started our descent, so we're gonna be landing there relatively soon, so collect your things, get ready. It shouldn't be too bumpy of a landing, but strap yourselves in just to be safe, but also don't, it's up to you. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. Yeah, we'll just be landing there in about 5-10 minutes. All right.
He's way too calm about this. I hate that.
Also, we ended last session, I believe, as we were getting on the plane.
Yeah.
I have to assume Porter intended to turn the 10 first aid cubes we left town with into tonics on the plane.
Yeah, you guys have had yeah. You've had 8 to 10 hours of travel time. Porter, if we want to resolve what you've been doing during that time, we can definitely do that.
That's perfect.
While you're getting that set up, +1 grit to Eloise from Argetlam. To set you up for the potential double flashback. We all know that won't happen. Addie can never spend her grit until she has 12.
True.
Excuse me. I've had almost no grit for a very long time. That was PAX. Eloise is different. How dare you?
What tonics do you want to make, Porter?
All right. So the first one, I'd like to make is an extra potent healing tonic.
Okay.
Now, a regular healing tonic. Sorry, I'm on my phone, so I can't actually look this up.
That's okay. I'm pulling up stuff now.
The regular healing tonic, I believe, is a tier 1, right?
Yeah, it's 3 hit points.
So if I make it tier 2 with the extra potent, that makes it a tier 3, which will take 12 hours. Is that correct?
I think tier 3 takes longer than that.
Potent is not a positive quality.
Oh. You're wanting
that's
it.
only for toxins.
Yeah.
So then just to get it to a tier 2 healing tonic is probably what I want then.
Yep. Yeah, to make it 6 HP. So that will be a class 2. And that's 12 hours. So
perfect. And we've been on the plane for 12 hours. I'd be done by the time we landed, right?
I did say fewer than 12, but you'll be finishing up as you land.
Love that. You're generous, ain't you? It's because you got that extra grit, isn't it?
Nah, I'm just eyeing everyone's arms carefully.
All right. So, remind myself of my talent. That's +1, and with the reliability and +1 to medkit, rolling for 15. All right. So I think I am just going to play to the Gary since I've got all this extra grit. Count this 16, roll it, and that is 5 hits. Then
I mean that does it.
that does it.
You make because you have mass production, you make 4 doses of this tonic, all of which are excellent quality, which means they only have 1 side effect. And I believe you have the pharmacist talent, so you can choose what that side effect is.
I think the side effect is going to be mute. That's my favorite one.
Okay, cool. Cool. So mark that down in your inventory. You have that now. And that will take up your entire time on the plane.
And that's just that isn't how many cubes is that?
2.
That's what I thought. All right, perfect.
All right. As you're working on that, Jess Weaver does watch. She's tinkering idly on some of her gear, just kind of like tuning it up and everything, and then she like glances over and like through the turbulence and like cramped space of this plane. You have set up a small little station with your med kit and are brewing tonics and like carefully measuring out ingredients. And she doesn't really say anything, but she does watch. So unless you engage her in conversation, she sits there and just kind of like observes while she's working on her own stuff.
I think I start out very focused because I'm kind of running through things as I'm doing this, thinking about how this plan's gonna go and making sure that I can rescue my friends. But I think probably halfway through I do notice that she's watching. And I don't engage her about it, but I do open up. I make sure that she can see what I'm doing, just so it's like a silent lesson kind of thing, is that she can see how much I'm measuring and of what that I'm grabbing.
Sure. Yeah, she watches a little less like inconspicuously at that point. And then as you guys are kind of touching down a good like 10 miles or so away from Brimstone Garrison in the middle of the night, around some like rocky crags, and everyone's like getting up, she just walks over to you and goes and like pats you on the shoulder and goes, "I like to tinker when I'm nervous too."
It helps to have something to focus on for sure.
You're very good at it.
That's very kind.
And then the hatch slides down, and then Wyatt stands up and goes, "All right, here we are at our destination. Good. Looks like 10 miles away from Brimstone Garrison. It's going to be right over that way, just to the southeast of us. I have to go now pick up your other friend." And he looks at his hand and then doesn't see anything and blinks a couple times, looks at his other hand, and goes, "Pirappa, I'm going to go pick her up. And I'm going to bring her back here. So I'll see you cool cats tomorrow night."
Yeah, and stay on schedule if you can, Wyatt. I'd hate for Prapper to be late.
Well, if we show up and run into some trouble, maybe some bad weather or something, I can just power on through. And if we show up and you guys have already been like captured or you're in the middle of a fight, I'm sure she can just drop right in and get to work. The way I understand, she's very good at bombs.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Mr. Tracy.
Of course, man. You guys got this. Good luck.
And I am gonna leave it to what's his name? Is it Arthur? No. Oscar McCoy, right? I'm going to leave to Oscar to find the best place for camp. And whatever he chooses, I'll get us started.
Yeah, he was the first one out of the plane, and he's already like started. I mean, he chose these coordinates, so he like had an idea for where he was setting up camp and everything. Basically, you guys are kind of like nestled in some rocky crags. It's actually really impressive that Wyatt was able to land here with such ease. He just kind of like coasted right into like some not even terrain and just landed this plane. Oscar's able to set up camp, and basically what he does is he sets up camp where the camp has no line of sight to Brimstone, but there are a couple like pretty easy like pathways you can walk up to get a little bit higher altitude and be able to see Brimstone. And so you like your whole approach to camp, you don't see it at all. And then as you get to where Oscar's like starting to already set up like some traps and some sensors and stuff like that in case any critters or creatures come this way, you're able to like walk just a little bit further and get line of sight from pretty good cover on Brimstone, very, very far on the horizon. But you can see it easily because it is lit up. It's got plenty of floodlights just keeping an eye on the area around it. I'd say that probably, or actually you're looking at it, like as you go to like look at it and see it in the distance, like Oscar goes, "I fucking hate them lights. It's real bad for the nightlife. I mean, the critters around here, it's real bad. They even put a special filter on them, to ward off like snallygasters and all that. It's really not." Or snallygasters. It's really not that. It's really not
up north this far.
Well, they got that creek there, and that creek ain't too deep, but
Just what we need.
I've seen weirder things. All you need is some yokel from the waste walking out, coming out of Ion Harbor with a pet snollygoster, let it go for a swim in a creek, and all of a sudden you got a snollygoster infestation. I've seen some stuff.
Is it true that if you flush a baby snollygoster down the toilet in a factory town, it grows up in the sewers and attacks you?
Yep.
Well, that's terrible. I thought that was an urban myth, and I really hate that you just said yes there.
No, definitely don't go into. You should just probably stay away from water most times, unless you're with someone who knows what's in that water.
Fair enough.
Yeah, sometimes it looks clean and nice, but it ain't. Anywho, this is you guys can set up your stuff here and here. I'm gonna go out a little bit further. There's this area has been not used by things for some time, but every once in a while, maybe some ball tails like to travel through here. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure there ain't no sign of them. And if there are, I got some repellent I can put out there. And he grabs like a big old jug that sloshes around with like some kind of liquid, and then a bunch of like gear like he puts over his shoulder. He goes, "See you in 15. Who's making grub?" No. Oh, were y'all planning on me being the one to make grub? And Arthur Ross goes, "Ha! Well, if no one else is going to go ahead and jump into it, I can definitely take care of it. Everyone like bacon? 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 Bacon it is!"
I can't. I suppose I could. Sure. Listen, before you go, Mr. McCoy, you mentioned that there's a creek nearby. Is there also maybe a small body of water or a river or something that might lead by the garrison? I mean, surely they've got to be getting water from somewhere.
Yeah. Actually, you can kind of see it by the light and moons. Go on, look on over there. You can see the little glisten there. So there's this river that runs by, right? And they make a little bit of a man-made creek, a little tributary they got, and it goes down here, and you can kind of see he's like marking off like an area that has like fencing around it. Mm-hmm. He goes, that goes on by the garrison, and then they not too often from what I can tell, when they have it set up, they can just take fresh water out of there and store it up in them over there. And he like holds out, like, I assume at this point you guys have binoculars and so on. Right. And he points to a part of the garrison where these big water drums in the like the southwest corner of the garrison. There's these big massive like water drums. He goes, yeah, they fill that up probably like twice a year with water from that. They just kind of open it up and let it just flow in and then close it down. Is what I understand their protocol to be. That you mentioned before a drainage pipe that goes right to a creek. That's the closest thing you got, but they have it pretty fucking secure, and they only open it twice a year.
Is there now? If that's where they pull the water from, would it be possible? Well, it could be possible for us to shut down one of those intake pipes, wouldn't it? Obviously, it'd be heavily guarded, but once we're inside,
yeah, probably. I mean, the intake pipe from the creek probably isn't operating right now, but if you were to do something with the water tanks, I mean, they're right there. So yeah, as you guys kind of look at Brimstone Garrison from afar, you see a massive structure of military might. This thing is formidable. It is over 160 acres in size. It is massive. From what you can tell, you're looking at it kind of from like a northish angle. You see that it has one entrance that points north. And at some point, Arthur would point out like, well, they do that because all the garrisons and outposts in Brimstone or in Fort Dearborn point north, because that's where the factory town is. Less likely for an incursion from that angle. They got to wrap around, right? All the enemies coming from the south, the east, and the west, as far as they're concerned. And this thing has 3 exterior walls, and 4 massive watchtowers on each corner. These watchtowers you can see are armed heavily with probably like anti-air gun aircraft like type weaponry. You can see there are air vehicles planted on them as well. The walls themselves look about like the one that is most exterior is 30 feet in thickness. The one that is in the middle is 50 feet in thickness. And the one that is furthest in, closest to the actual buildings of the garrison, is about 5 feet in thickness. So that wall doesn't have anyone kind of patrolling it, but the other two do.
So
Or sorry, not the. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, it's 3 sets of wilds, is what you're saying?
Yeah, with a decent
Excellent.
amount of space in between them as well. So those are the 3 exterior walls, and then even further from those walls, you see there is fencing, kind of chain link fencing that goes up really, really high, and has like razor wire on the bottom and top of it. That covers the outside, and that fencing touches one part of the garrison directly, which is a gatehouse that is on the northern side of the garrison that goes through all 3 exterior walls, but also juts out a decent amount of distance in front of the most exterior wall. That gatehouse has several little like small like sniper towers in it, and then because you guys are kind of elevated and from a decent distance, you can see a lot of the buildings inside, and that's where you can see the parts that you have schematics for. So basically there's tons of buildings inside. There's about a dozen very large, like barracksy looking kind of housing, probably for like infantrymen. There's also other like nicer housing around like what looks like probably like a commissary or like some kind of like recreational area that seems to be like officers placing. There's a big huge like garage like dead center that like has a clear path to the gate in the north. And then in the like bottom the like south west corner, that's where like there's a lot of utilities and stuff. That's where you see the waters and so on. And in the bottom southeast corner, there's a large facility that seems to match up with the schematics that Scruff gave you. That large facility is close enough to some of those water pipes that you think that's like he basically broke out of a supply line that connected to the utility part of the garrison, and then like followed that all the way to the pipe that connects to that river. The facility itself, you can kind of like, you basically looking at the schematics that are uploaded into Eloise's Omni tool, you can see like a wing within that facility that you know is like the entrance of the north, where there's like kind of like a gate and some like a gate and like an airlock and stuff like that, and then like a right turn, and then it kind of goes to where his living arrangement was and where the lab was. So it's kind of on like the southern end of that building that is like this big like R&D like scientific building. It's like 4 stories tall, and it looks like at like the second story it becomes kind of like an L shape. So there's like 2 stories, and then there's 2 more stories that only take up part of it with like a slanted slope to that like part. So it's kind of like if you took an L and then connected like a slanted like slope there. You also notice the garrison itself, much like what Oscar told you, the area around it very far, like no shrubs, barely any like broken sight lines. There's also these trenches that are shallow enough to make it so driving a vehicle up to this place through any other way than the main road that they have carved out would be incredibly difficult. It's like these like shallow trenches that have like kind of some obstructions in them, but not enough to like really block line of sight, and not enough to stop them from being like combatable positions in case they needed to retreat to somewhere. But there's a main road that comes from the north that attaches to that gatehouse, and that is the only way that a land vehicle could easily approach this place. But on the south-ish area, like south, kind of barely touching the area where the utilities are, on the like southwest corner of the building, there's mountainous terrain. There's like a mountain basically, and from with like the night vision goggles and survival kit scopes and all that, you can see that they've blown up that mountain so that it is just a sheer scree slope. So like perching up on like that mountain, like, and approaching them from that mountain would be incredibly difficult because it's just like rocky gravel that like any vehicle or even like some of the most skilled climbers would have trouble going up and down safely. And then along the base of that mountain is they've kind of like have that creek that they've man-made that attaches to the river that runs way further north of the garrison.
Observing all of this from whatever vantage point I have, I'd like to do like a scan and save it to Eloise's Omni tool so I can kind of render a 3D model of the camp itself. And as we get more information, I'd like to just like add labels like this is the lab, this is the facility, these are the water towers, these are the barracks.
Sure. I don't think that's going to require any roll. I think unless you want to try and discern like other aspects of this or try to identify any particular kind of weak points or anything like that, that would be a roll. But literally just taking the information that I've given you and transcribing it into the 3D model that Eloise had, that's simple and easy enough that you can just start doing that.
I'll do an observe test, but I'd like to. It's just kind of an initial thing because I'd like to get closer later tonight so I can do some surveillance kind of things.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll an observe test. Given the nighttime and the distance, we'll put it at a -5.
I can't use somebody's goggles. You said that somebody had goggles.
Even with the goggles. Like the goggles are not like you are 10 miles away. You don't like even still like you're looking through a small like lens at different parts, right?
That checks out.
Dex, what are you up to? You smell bacon and beans over a campfire.
I think Dex is probably doing the same thing as Porter and trying to find any kind of way in. Like this place seems unassailable.
Sure. Go ahead and roll an observe test. Same thing, -5 at this distance. Even with all your like, if you have a talent that, no, even like because you guys have binoculars, you have scopes and stuff. That's why it's only a -5. Yeah, +1 grit to Porter from Fiddler Undone.
That's very kind and necessary in this particular moment. As I have misfire, just a regular misfire. It's not a grave misfire, but it's a misfire. So I'm gonna use that grit, not that grit. I'm gonna use my grit, the grit that I have, and I'm gonna downgrade that to not misfire.
I love like the deafening silence as you say it's a misfire, and everyone's like, "Is he just gonna take it? Is he just gonna do it?"
I thought about it, but
yeah, I was like, man, if Porter's gonna beef it here, I guess I might spend 5 grit to make this roll anything, but I will not.
Cool.
So that puts me at 8, correct?
Yes. 8 grit.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. What did both of you get on observe tests?
4.
1 success.
Okay. So what you can see, Dex, is there are patrols. You can see that there are, it's nighttime, and there's some land patrols going around. Like the area around the garrison is very heavily, like it's very lit up. They have big floodlights kind of covering all those like trenches and stuff that they dug out. And then kind of like working the outskirts of those, of those lights, you see occasionally like vehicles, like carefully traversing. Mostly it's like slow moving vehicles because they have to like either navigate the trenches or go like way around them, and then like soldiers on foot. And it looks like these patrols are about 12 soldiers strong. And you count 2 of them, I think. Let me double check my notes. I think it's 2. Sorry, I'm very wrong. It's 5, and they're not 12 strong, they're 8 strong. 5 patrols of 8 soldiers, not including whatever's in the vehicle. There's 5 like foot soldiers, and then like probably like 2 or 3 in the actual vehicle. Or 8 foot soldiers, 2 or 3 in the vehicle. So that's what you see. You see those kind of patrolling around at night. And as Oscar gets back, oh, I'm Porter now. I turned into Porter. Right. Well, I got, what is it? 5 hits? Oh, okay.
I was here to hold out.
As you're kind of observing that, and you're like pointing them out and you're like marking it, and you see like they are well kitted out, like militiamen. They're wearing potentially you would guess like heavy or medium armor, all of which is hardened. They have full auto or burst fire like medium weapons. A couple of them have heavy. They're kitted out kind of similar to the people you saw in the mountains when you went into the mountains with Brimstone to hunt down Jack Taylor. So that's what you see here at night. And then Oscar kind of points out, I think they have fewer in the day than they do at night. They tend to have more people out at night on foot, and then fewer in the day on foot, but more in the day in the sky. I remember seeing a plane or two flying around, or a helicopter or two flying around, just kind of scoping out the wider land. We got nice coverage here, so when they usually don't come out this far. Like, they don't come out this far, but even when they do, they very rarely come so far this far that they would be able to see us where we are. So we're in a good spot here, but once we go in a little bit closer, we gotta keep our eyes in the sky a little bit. How many successes did you get, Porter?
That was just one. Same.
Oh, same. Yeah, so you basically both are able to mark the movements of the 5 patrols that are on land throughout the night. You can kind of see how far out they go. Oscar is correct. They don't seem to like fully traverse. They don't wander too far. They're definitely not getting anywhere close to you guys. But they're kind of staying within those floodlights. So you basically know that between here and those lights at night, you're probably totally fine to like fully close the gap. But that's what you're able to get with that. While you're both looking at that, Lucille draws your attention to a point. She says, take a look at that over there. Way I see it from over here, what I can see is those walls, which are eminently scalable. I mean, sure, they're tall and scary and they got patrols, but don't all walls tend to have things on there that make you think you can't get over them. That space in between, though, that caught my interest. From what I can tell, if I were to take a guess, it looks like those areas in between the walls are pretty segregated from everywhere else. I don't know if you spent any time in Fort Dearborn, but they do love being able to isolate threats. That whole city is just carved up into tall walls that are supposed to be able to lock down if anyone does anything bad. So it seems like they apply the same principle here. Take a look over there, and she points at the base of the big, huge, like, corner watchtowers. You see that there are doors on the base of those that attach to these like wide open areas in between these walls. It's hard to see from even your vantage point at this distance. You can only kind of glimpse like a little bit of what's there. She goes, if I were to take a guess, I think those are tunnels underneath the foundations of the watchtowers to make it so you can make a full circuit if you want. But I think the only way to get from one segregated part of wall to the next segregated part of wall, I'm talking on the ground, not on the top, is right over there. And she draws your attention to a spot in the northern western spot, a part of the complex that is just below that watchtower, like just south of that watchtower. There's actually like covered walkways that attach there, and they seem to have like little elevators that like would come down and drop people off into those channels in between the walls. And like as she says that, you can definitely see the space in between those walls. They gotta use them primarily for training. You see obstacle courses, you see firing ranges, you see like that the spot that she is showing, the like kind of like walkways, actually attached to a little like part of the most interior wall that is right next to what you assume to be like the regimented soldier like barracks is. So it seems like they like they funnel out of their barracks, they walk not too far to go through this big gate into these elevators that then allow them to drop into these channels between these walls where they do their drills and their training. And that seems to be the function of the area in between, besides just the fact that it also makes it so attacking the base would be extremely hard. So yeah, as far as you know at this particular moment, the two ways through the exterior walls, besides just hopping over them, climbing down, and then climbing up, and then climbing down, and then climbing up and climbing down, is the massive, extremely fortified gate at the very front of the camp of the garrison on the north. And then these, if you were able to reach the most exterior wall on the northwestern corner, you could get into one of these channels, these these kind of like tubes that you could walk through all the way through to the most interior wall. Those seem to be the two ways that you could enter, besides potentially the waterway that Scruff used, that looks like it has been refortified, and they've potentially changed the protocol on in the 2 years since Scruff, because Scruff described it as being like, you guys saw it through Scruff's memories. It was just open, and now it is a like whole shut thing that they, according to Oscar, open up and then like suck the water out to refill their stores, and they shut that thing again, which is not what Scruff crawled out of. Scruff crawled out of basically a tube with metal bars at the end.
So we could traverse all three walls if we somehow got onto this walkway. If we disabled those elevators, would that limit their capacity for guarding those walls? Like, do they also run their circuit there?
Yeah, so to a point, because basically the only way for the soldiers who are patrolling the exterior, the middle and the most exterior walls, the soldiers who are making those patrols, the only way they can, as you're watching, the only way they make it from one wall to the other is those walkways. Those walkways are the thing that attaches the three exterior walls together. Anyone who is traversing any part of those exterior walls, either on the ground or up high, if they want to go deeper in or further out of the barracks, they have to go to those two covered walkways.
Sure. And then your average extendable ladder / footbridge, that's what? How long?
I believe, average is one thing. Excellent quality is a little bit different. They change the size, but I think 30 is the longest they go.
Right.
30 feet, which is not enough to get to the top of the wall.
No.
But Lucille did say that she's very confident she could climb that wall.
Sure. So if we could interrupt their patrol, then perhaps we could get Lucille in there to get us in. That's interesting. That's good. So I'm gonna finish. I think I'm gonna set up my camp next. I think I'm gonna set up my camp next to Jess. And I'm gonna ask her: Is there any chance you have I guess they don't need to be night vision goggles. There's something that would look like Badlands sunglasses that I could use to kind of zoom in with binoculars but not be conspicuous. I'm thinking of watching them without knowing that I'm watching them.
I mean, I could do something like that, yes. How do you plan on... You just think you're going to go for a stroll in the middle of their...
Well, there's tributaries and streams that could be the location of rare kinds of wildlife. I'm thinking I could kind of pose as a sort of naturalist, and then if anybody asks what I'm doing, I can tell them what I'm looking for.
I don't ask you for papers to say you're allowed to be there. I can tell you from experience, says Oscar. But I mean, You say these are bad folks. If you don't think they're going to shoot you when you don't have the papers, then they'll probably just run you off. It could work, but yeah, I mean, I had to work on them tributaries. I had to work on that river. I had to work on the, I had to work on the areas around that they tamped out. Just on the outskirts. Now that I think about it, though, I did. They did. Hey, Ross, and Arthur goes, "What? If you weren't gonna be in a garrison like this and you had them little divots or whatever, so vehicles had trouble and whatnot, you they told me I like had to stay out of them or that I shouldn't go in there, and they said like they also told me to stay off the road, but they were like if an animal goes into that, I think maybe there's mines in there, y'all. I think they maybe have the little divots. I think they might have mines."
Sure, mines in the ditches. That
That
makes
that just occurred to me on account of the fact that they told me not to go in there. So don't go in there, I guess is what I'm saying.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but they'll I mean when they catch you, they'll catch you and they'll ask you if you're allowed to be there and then
I'm sure there's no shortage of poachers who have failed to get the naturalized paperwork, and I can talk them out of shooting me, I think.
well, I mean, yeah, I mean they can be kind of mean sometimes. I didn't actually think I had a very good time, and he just starts like telling you and telling. He's like, "There's this one son of a bitch. He's just like he had the worst breath I ever smelled, and I've
By the
been
way, if you can make me
face
something like
deep
that,
in a
I'd
war
spy on
kit."
them, that'd be really helpful. Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, cool. Jess does that easily. She just turns the tech cube. If you're just trying to get binoculars that are inconspicuous, she whips that together really quickly. She uses a tech cube and a machinery cube to make some sunglasses that have basically a digital like optical like zoom. And as she like holds them out to you, she does pull her hand back, and she goes, "Just so you know, the mayor was very generous and gave me what she told me was her budget for this trip, as far as the supplies I provide you on the way. But the moment that I exceed that budget, we are going to need to talk payment. You understand?"
I understand. I don't want to dip into my coffers, as it were, for this. So, would you accept this as payment? And I'm going to give her one of my tier 1 healing tonics.
I am very tempted to take advantage of you here, but I am being paid well enough not to. I do not need payment from you now. This is covered by the mayor. This is nothing. But should you need something more robust, we may need to talk.
That won't be a problem.
I typically try not to trade in barter, though. I do prefer spurs, so we'll cross that bridge when it gets to it. Enjoy the glasses; they look very fetching on you.
I appreciate you making them so stylish.
Of course, only the best. Okay. Anything else with this evening?
So this untraversable mountain that cannot be climbed and could never be used as an approach.
I mean, look, it's difficult. You are a drifter with immense skill. like nothing I've said is something that a drifter would inherently, like when I say impossible or anything like that, I'm talking to like people who don't have stat blocks.
Sure. I think Dex is like seeing everything they've got and it's like, okay, so there's mines in the trenches. The only real way in the front is the front door on the main road. We're going to climb up 3 walls and do this without being seen by the training drills they run or the patrols on the top. There's one place they've decided they cannot cover. They can't cover, so they've made it unapproachable. And that's this mountain that goes into their water. And so Dex is like focused on that, trying to find an approach there, because I think in his mind, if we can approach from there, they have, through their actions, admitted that they can't cover it.
Cool. If you want to try and like map out like that area, it's hard right now. It is dark.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is something Dex like accomplishes the whole thing right now, but that's where his head's at.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. You can basically once the lights out, you'll have fewer negatives, and if you were to even head that way, like and try and get like better vantage point than from where you are, that would reduce the negatives to you basically rolling a survival test to try and like be like, this is the way in which I could use this.
Mhm. Yeah, so like I'll accomplish whatever I can tonight, but um I don't actually know how much that is realistically.
Yeah, I think unless you guys are planning on getting closer or changing your location, these observe tests and seeing the patrols and getting the information on like the actual layout of the place is pretty much the extent of what you can achieve
Okay.
at this moment.
Yeah, then I think Dex is just asking, basically turns to the group. Um well, he looks at Lucille. You mentioned climbing. Well, how do the rest of you feel about climbing?
I mean, I can climb. I can climb. It looks like probably they made that out of an alloy that a mag belt won't work. Or do you concur, Ms. Roberts? And she goes, it's actually Mrs. And then proceeds to nod in agreement and go, you're not wrong. They aren't gonna make it that easy, but even still, right tools and skill set, you can make it up them walls. If I get up there first, I can drop rope ladder or
Sorry, I don't mean the walls.
oh, well, with that much of a cryptic response, so
I mean the mountain.
and then Oscar goes, oh, I'm even more comfortable with that one. That sounds great. Wait, that mountain over there, you see they blown the shit out of it, right? And Arthur goes, that doesn't look too stable.
No, I don't think it is. I think they've done everything in their power to tell us that they can't do anything if anyone goes over that.
Well, let's just say, I mean, it looks like maybe you can get up to that top area. It's a long way down, a slippery slide. What's your plan for that there, gunslinger?
Well, step one is asking the rest of you how comfortable you are with climbing.
I can climb if need be.
I mean, I can do it. Jess goes, I would prefer not to. If I am being honest, I mean, if you think you need something up there, I could make it for you here. If you're trying to move quickly, I will definitely slow you down. So it may be better for me to hang out at camp.
Well, quiet is better than quick until it's not an option.
Otherwise, if you want me to sneak along the riverbed and get below where you are going to arrive, that feels much more my speed.
Is it? Sorry, I'm having a hard time following visually the layout of this place.
Yeah, yeah.
Does
It's a
that
big place.
Does that, like, if we got up to the top and everybody who was able to sort of like got up there and then got down, does that make Jess accessible to us if she tried to climb, like sneak along below us?
She'd basically be offering to, because you're saying you want to slide down to where that water intake is, right?
Yeah.
So that water intake is something that, like, if she were to
She's saying like she'll follow the river along the way to there.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're confident, you can do it without being caught.
I mean, all it takes is for me to climb one fence and then I can swim the whole way.
Okay.
Oscar goes, well, I mean, I'm just saying sometimes there's some creepy crawlers in there and whatnot. And she goes, well, I can make a good enough armor. They won't be able to touch me.
I think they've done a lot to make everything else a lot of work that we can't do quietly to get in.
Arthur goes, I've done more insane things. This actually seems to make some sense. Now, what are we talking? A sled situation, or are we just gonna kind of roll on down the hill. Hopefully not the first or the second one. That sounds like a bad idea. I'm going to go ahead and go on record. I think we would die.
I think Dex, with absolute confidence and the calmness, as if this is not an insane thing, says, "Well, I could probably do it on foot, but if you need something to get you down, Jess, is that something you could build?"
she grins and goes, I like the way your mind works. Absolutely. I would love to make a sled for Arthur.
Then, unless we find something else, this seems like our best approach.
All
I
right.
think we can do it. Should we try and set up a distraction at the same time? I mean, we have these turrets that might be useful. If they think they're being attacked from the other side, maybe it'll be easier to land inside.
My recollection is the last Porter did not get a confirmation in any way that the FPC would join us, right?
Correct.
No.
And I don't think Porter mentioned that to anyone here, right? Just me.
There was never
I don't think
in
he-
the scene
no.
where I was playing them. No, so it had to be like on the flight or during any of the cuts where Porter was like, "Hey, also."
Yeah, no.
Sure.
That's one of those. When the important information is made relevant, then the team will know about it too.
Okay, yeah, then I think Dex will just make eye contact with Porter and say, I don't think it benefits us for them to be on alert if we can avoid it.
Do you think we can basically just fall into the camp then without us noticing? Just trust the timing of it?
That's my hope. I don't know how achievable that is. I think it's probably too late to make any real progress on it tonight, but tomorrow, that's what we figure out.
Good. One thing that I want us all to keep in mind, once we get our plan A, we need a plan B and a plan C. I don't know if we can get further than that, but just to have something that we can all agree on and take on the fly. Let's be ready.
And let's not forget that dear old Parappa is going to be arriving tomorrow night. Lucille says, like glancing over at Jess, and Jess goes, "Do not look at me like that. I don't like it when you look at me like that."
Good. Let's try and keep a watch. We'll set that up, and it'll be a regular watch for as long as we need it. I'm going to start with making a tonic if I can. At least make some progress on it tonight. So whoever wants to take first watch, let me know.
I'll take first watch.
I can wake up early, says Arthur. And
Yeah.
you guys are able to set up a watch where you have enough people that everyone can take a short watch and then go back to sleep. Easy. So the next day comes. Were you guys planning on trying to scope out the mountain, like reposition higher up in the mountains today?
Certainly scope it out, and like if that means it sounds. I mean, I don't see how we would do it without getting closer. I don't know if we move camp until Parappa has arrived necessarily.
Cool. So the morning comes. Eloise and Gus, you are still asleep. You are forced asleep at the moment. Dex and Porter, as you guys kind of wake up, are you guys just scoping it out? Is that the plan? Like just go into the mountains right now? Or Porter, were you going to go do some...
I was going to do some spying. Can I do one roll towards these tonics that I'd like to make, or should I just start that later in the day?
Oh, you said you wanted to work on it in the night. Yeah, go ahead and do that. Also, I need both Dex and Porter to roll a discipline check for me. Dex, any
take
talents?
a -1, dog.
Any talents you may or may not have to affect illuminated powers? They come into play. So okay, -1. All right. That's devastating. I hate you. But at least I'm gonna get the satisfaction of knowing. So right now my highest is a 7.
Oh well. That's. I do have a reroll actually. Oh come on. Yeah. That's no successes.
Okay. Dex.
I have a 14.
Okay. Yeah, sure. This actually, so this will affect Dex and Porter. But I'll go ahead and also give it to Gus and Eloise because it kind of affects them too. Everyone gets a grit. As I spend grit to play to the gallery.
Working hard for that grit. Working hard.
Earn 1 grit a day working at home.
So I can play to the gallery and count my 14.
Cool. Now, we haven't done this before, like where an insight power is affecting multiple people. Is it like a full auto attack where it's like one attack that attacks multiple people, or is it like if it fails against one person, it fails against them all?
It's more like a full auto attack. Basically, everyone rolls their own defense and they are resolved differently. So like
Okay.
if I were to get, 5 hits over
Gotcha, okay.
Porter, it's different effect than if I got 1 hit over you. Okay, that explodes, but doesn't matter for you. All right, well, that's silly. That's the example I just gave. I got 5 successes over Porter, and I got 1 success over Dex because I'm the aggressor, and I also have a 14.
Tommy, I say this with all the love in my heart. You're one of my best friends. You're a great GM. Absolutely get fucked. I use Shielded Psyche.
Boom, done. So Dex, because it failed on you and you shield Psyche, this doesn't always happen. You didn't get multiple like net successes, but because it's shielded Psyche, you feel the triggering of your talent, right? You can't use it for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So as you guys kind of wake up in the morning, you feel this tickling presence at the back of your at like the back of your neck. And like instinctively you go to like brush off, like you think it's like a fly or something. And then before your hand even gets there, you feel it kind of like seep in deeper and you realize what's happening and your training kicks in before you even have time to think of it. Like you're waking up, like your eyes haven't even opened. And you realize what's happening.
Still in that dream, like that half asleep state, like Dex immediately visualizes the fortress of the Silent Peak of like all of the doors just slamming closed.
Yeah, and you expel that influence that was about to touch you. Porter, you wake up well and refreshed and everything.
Right. That's nice. Excellent.
I think Dex sort of like shoots up. Like none of you are illuminated, right?
That's a bit of a forward question, don't you think?
It matters right now.
No. And Lucille goes, unfortunately, no. And Oscar goes, no. It'd be nice, I suppose. And Jess goes, no, thank you.
Somebody just tried to find us. Me, at least.
It was so successful on me that I didn't notice it all.
There'd be no way for you to notice, even if it was marginally successful at you.
That's worrisome. Did they find you?
No. It wasn't. When Eloise does it, I can tell it's this. I didn't recognize this in any way, right?
It didn't feel like when Eloise uses her illuminated powers at all.
I don't think anyone else is.
I think did the Raven try to use?
What's her name? Did I'm forgetting her name. The woman who got captured.
Maggie?
Yeah, Maggie used telepathy to link us up, I believe.
Oh, sure. It didn't feel like Maggie either.
Okay. We should move camp right now.
All right. Is there another place that we can see if so we can see if Parappa arrives? Mr. McCoy?
To see? Yeah, sure. I mean, well, you was talking about going up and higher in the mountain range there where it ain't blasted to bits. So we can go up that way. I've run up there. I have a path we can follow. We should be fine.
Let's pack up.
And then I can go ahead and I can stop if we got a short range radio. He says, gesturing at Jess, and Jess like just reaches in her bag and is like, ah. And he goes, I could stop partway through, or someone could hang back, and then we leave the other one here.
These are details we can figure out on the move.
Okay, because the thing is, like, the rocks will kind of, and then Arthur goes, buddy, pack up the camp. And just like grabs him in like almost a headlock and like pulls him away. Yeah, you guys quickly pack up your camp, and with the assistance of Oscar, you guys are not going to have to roll anything to make your way up into this mountain range. Between Dex and Oscar, like, this mountain range is a piece of cake. He knows it. He's extremely skilled, and Dex is also specifically very good at traversing mountainous terrain.
Right.
So between the two of them, it is a piece of cake, relatively speaking. Time consuming for sure, but like not harrowing at all. As you make your way through, and Oscar frequently checks and sees like signs of like animal passage, and like is able to determine that they are, it was too long ago for it to be a threat, or when it is a threat, he like does the thing, like he does some weird calls out. It's like he's like, oh, this one's definitely a ball tail cat in heat. I got this. He goes, all right, he's gonna not want to come anywhere nearby here. The trick is, mating calls is one thing, but bad mating calls, that's the ticket. That's how you get them to go away.
That's quite a skill you've developed, just listening for specifically mating calls that are repulsive.
Yeah, we're the ones they say no to, right? That's the ones you want to do.
That's fair.
And you guys continue making your way deeper into the mountains. And you do get to the point where someone should hang back with a radio when Parappa arrives, to let Parappa know which way you're going. Well, I really like it. I think, I was mistaken the viewpoint from up here. It's quite beautiful. I think I will continue on the road with the rest of you, says Jess.
Sure. Porter, I got bad news. This one's you.
That's fair. I can hang out and wait. I can probably make it up the rest of the way. Probably. Yeah. It'll be fine.
We'll go ahead and leave you markers on the way, and we won't break down none of our pythons or whatnot. You just follow the path we leave you.
Yeah, the markers, good.
Yeah.
I don't.
So what I'm gonna do is, if it's a path you shouldn't take because it's too dangerous, I'm gonna put a red X, and if it's a path you should take, I'm gonna go ahead and put a red plus. Sound good? So X's don't go, pluses good. Yeah.
But what if it's like a crooked slope? Could you change the color or maybe the shape? One of the
I only got the red chalk.
Good. So if I should go that way, do a triangle. How about that?
Triangle. All right. Oh, triptycism. Sure. I guess if you're gonna be all, I'll put a whole line through it and everything for you. Whatever.
It can't help to have a blessing, from wherever it comes from.
Here I was thinking you was a fisher, and he goes trudging away.
If you want to draw a fish, that's fine too.
We'll get creative with our symbols.
keep an eye on him, Jess. I know this is his element, but it's certainly not mine.
Yeah, so the rest of you are able to keep moving and put red X's and then triangles where Porter should and shouldn't go. You leave a path for him that is as long as it doesn't rain heavily, which it doesn't look like it's going to. Kinsey doesn't seem to be around. As long as the chalk doesn't wash off, he should be good. And it takes you guys most of the day just to get around to the position that you want to get to, Dex. Between you and Oscar, there's no point in rolling. The two of you are able to traverse this. It's just a matter of time. It's actually impressive that you guys are able to make it in the amount of time that you do. So that's pretty much your day. And then Porter, in the evening, you will have something. But in the middle of the day,
I am.
You're working on your tonic. You're working on your tonic.
Just so you know, I did get all the successes, so that's something that I'm doing while I'm
Cool.
waiting.
What's the tonic you're making?
It's a +1 finesse attribute tonic.
Okay, so that's tier 2, yeah?
Tier 2.
Okay, you got excellent quality, so it has one side effect. What's that side effect?
Oh, I should have. I don't want to do mute again. I hate gut rot because it means that it's like a low quality tonic.
Are you forgetting the other? You're just trying to remember.
I have them. I had them up on my computer. Actually, might still be ready.
All right. Well, you can think of on it. You're not done with this until the evening, anyways. Eloise and Gus, you both wake up. And you both benefit from a rest. Any injuries you have, they get recovered by 1. Or they mark 1 recovery night. And any HP loss you have, you heal HP equal to half your durability attribute. And as we all know, you both regain shine equal to a quarter of your insight attribute. Because
that's not the rules. That's not the rules.
it seems as though the effect of the experiments that were done on you has slowed your shine regeneration. So you regain half as much shine as you normally would. Normally you would regain shine equal to your insight attribute. Instead, you regain half that much. Round it up.
Do you always only gain half your durability HP?
Yeah. The thing is, it almost never comes up because you guys are able to take injuries and avoid damage enough.
You get your durability in HP, but your HP is twice your durability.
Exactly. So basically half your maximum.
Oh, okay.
You have a pencil. I definitely have a pencil.
Half your durability.
Sorry, my bad.
I was like, that's 3.
No. My bad.
Okay.
Your durability attribute becomes the amount of hit points you regain, and then in this instance, half of your insight attribute is how much shine you regain.
You said a quarter.
Well, yeah, but I meant to say I did it wrong. I said it wrong.
Okay.
You're regaining
All right.
half as much shine. Half as much shine.
Okay, got it. Good. We're here. We're with it. We're totally hit. It's a bones day.
It's not a bones
Everything's
day.
looking
It's
great.
not a bones day. How dare you?
I'm not talking about here now. I'm talking
on
just wakes
Manifest.
up. It's a bones day.
I have the date, motherfucker. I'll tell you what day is the bones day on Manifest.
It's not bones or no bones. It's Squonker Puddle.
Squonker Puddle!
Oh my yes! Oh, Addie missed it. Oh no.
Addie missed the best thing.
I'll take my
We're never
beliefs.
gonna tell her.
Dan, why haven't you spent any grit? I would have given you a grit for that. Yeah, Dan suggested that it's not bones or no bones on Manifest. It's Squonker Puddle.
Oh my gosh! That's amazing.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Cool. So Eloise and Gus, you both wake up relatively around the same time. But we'll start with Gus. I think Gus probably wakes up a little bit earlier anyways. It is around mealtime, Gus. You wake up a little groggy as the door, you hear the familiar knock on the door and you hear, "Back against the wall, Mr. Gurley, if you're up."
Yeah, Alpha. Ralston, Lieutenant Ralston.
Lieutenant
Private First Class. I'm sorry.
It's private, sir. Is your back against the wall?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah. So you are completely in your like manacles again. You put your back up against the wall, and the door opens up, and Alf Ralston walks in, and goes, "Afternoon, sir."
Yeah. Hey, Ralston.
Got some grub for you. I even went ahead and grabbed you an extra piece of bread since it's, the only thing that ain't mush.
Ralston, that's super nice of you. I do appreciate that. And Gus like heavily sits down and begins to like a little bit laboriously eat because he's used to waking up feeling fit and refreshed after like working out and meditating and stuff. And this waking up half cocked has completely taken it out of him.
You all right there, Mr. Gurley?
I don't quite feel 100%, or even real close to it.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people go in the lab before, and it takes a toll on them. You seem right as rain compared to some of the other folks. So, hats off to you, or I don't know if that's a consolation or not.
Yeah, I'd imagine I do. Some of the folks in there, I'm doing quite a bit better than I suppose. So, I guess I should take that.
They still got folks in there?
Well, they're sort of folks. They're like,
They're like Mr. Taylor.
yeah,
All right. I understand.
yeah.
Kinda
Hey,
sit there in silence.
Alf, there's speaking of Mr. Taylor, I remembered somebody. I talked to someone back when we were in the mountains. Do you remember when we were in the mountains hunting down Mr. Taylor? There was
I do. Your friend there. I do.
yeah. There's a soldier in your outfit who about to retire and move. I want to say move with his wife and open a tailor shop. Was that right?
He stops and thinks for a second and goes, "You talking about Sergeant Breckenridge?"
Sergeant Breckenridge. Did I get any of that right, Alf? They're moving somewhere. They're gonna open up some sort of clothing store. Wanted me
He
to
talked
come
about
by.
Bone Summit a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Bone Summit. Apparently, someone in that family's got some sort of skill with the clothes. I don't know. Is there a word for that?
I mean, yeah, it's Taylor,
Yeah, Taylor.
but
Yeah,
I think she made hats. I think it was he talked about it a lot.
a
He
hat
said
like a haberdashery or something.
haberdashery is the word, sir.
But they sell
They
they
sell
sell hammers.
No, they sell hats.
They sell dashery.
I don't know the etymology of the word, so I can't help you any further than that.
Haberdashery. Breckenridge's haberdashery. I got it. You ever been over to Bone Summit? You ever visited?
No, I mean, no. Am I misremembering? Did you already mention Breckenridge to
I have not.
Elf once? Okay, cool. I couldn't remember if that was at the table or off the table when you brought it up.
It was off the table.
Cool. He goes, yeah, I mean, he left. He left a little while ago.
Think you made it to Bone Summit?
I suspect so. Yeah.
I hope so. Wish I could know.
Well, I mean, I got his LRC. I could send him a message.
Yeah, would you mind? Send it to him from both of us. I'm sure he'd like to hear from both.
I suppose. I mean, I didn't know the man too well, but he made sure all of us had his LRC before he went off and said, if you ever buy Bone Summit and you need a fancy hat, something like that. He said it better than I did.
Sure. Well, that's so nice. Yeah. I send a message from us and let him know that we won't come by and hear how that haberdash the hat see how the hat shop's going.
I don't know that. I don't know that. It's awkward, sir. I mean, I mean, we can ask him if he wants to swing by. I don't think either of us is going there anytime soon. And
You're about to get off, ain't you?
well, yeah, sure. I mean, but Bone Summit's far away. I mean, it's in Markham's Landing, and I don't know, it's pretty far. But sure, I'll send a message, sir. I'll send a message.
Yeah. I mean, look, Alf, sorry, Ralston.
You can call me Alf. It's fine.
Appreciate it. When I left my farm, I did it to go and see the world, right? I guess I saw parts of it. What I could. If this is the only part I get to see ever again, I guess. Well, I guess I got to make peace with that, but I don't know. I'd like to know that there's someone out there seeing the world for me. You do that, Alf?
That's really pretty, sir. It's a really pretty notion. Yeah, I mean, I still have a little bit left in my tour, but when I was done, I was thinking maybe I'd retire from the military and sure, if it means something to you, sir, I could maybe make my way by Bone Summit one day. I mean, it's a bit pricey to get up there, but I could do it.
And I would appreciate that. Yeah, and hey, let me know when you hear back from Breckenridge, from old Breck.
All right.
We helped save his life, as I recall. And he took care of us pretty good.
All right. And he like awkwardly goes and like collects your empty plate and sits there for a second and then goes, I'll check back in later tonight.
Appreciate that, Alf. I'm gonna grab it. Go back to. I'm gonna get a nap or something, or work out. One of the two.
All right. And then he exits. Eloise, you wake up in a familiar situation. You are attached to a bunch of machinery in Pruitt's lab.
Right.
And Pruitt looks like he hasn't slept. He's got like his hair's a little disheveled. He's wearing the same clothes you saw him in before. And he is moving around and he turns and he goes, "Good, you're awake."
I am.
Well, you, my dear, are going to be witness to something spectacular. Now, normally what I would do here, as he's like messing with like different like scales and like holographic like sensors, he goes, now, what I would normally do here is I'd ask you a bunch of personal questions, make you get emotional, and use that to trigger your illuminated response. But you're stubborn as hell, and I think I got these machines calibrated enough, and, well, I'm starting to run out of time. You will be happy to know that your dear Porter Janus is wandering through the mountains right now, looking for you. I don't know exactly what his plan is going that way, but who knows? You're drifters, so you could do just about anything, now can't you? So, his timing, though, you think I'd be upset, but no, his timing, absolutely spot on. This is perfect. So go ahead and just, well, I guess I can't tell you to sit back there. You're going to feel a bit of a pinch here. And he presses a button and then just a sharp, deep pain in your back as one of the machines starts drilling in. And he goes, all right, so, Mr. Janus, he's got some folks with him. He's got a fellow named, Arthur Ross, Lucille Watt Roberts. There's also a Jess Weaver in the mix. They're wandering through the mountains with him as well. Oh, we're starting to separate from them, from what I can tell. I don't know. I don't want to try and presume they know their minds, but it seems like maybe your poor little lover boy is going to go ahead and mount a suicide rescue to try and pull you out of here. And who knows? Maybe he'll succeed, but it doesn't matter. He'll find you dead one way or another. You're going to feel another pinch here. And he presses a button and you feel another sharp jab into your collarbone.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit loopy, but I've been working all night, and I mean, it's been so goddamn long working on this. And who would have thought you and Mr. Gurley would be the fucking key? But here we are. And he goes and starts like inserting like these large like pistons into like this like big like 8-chambered device. He's like sliding them in and like locking them in. You recognize somewhat of the substance within there being similar to similar but like augmented versions of the samples that he was trying to draw from you. As he starts like latching those in, and then he like rubs his hand a little bit and just starts like going and working on things.
Can I try to figure out what the machines are?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, you can roll technology or first aid. We'll put since they're primarily first aid, it's going to be technology at a -3 or first aid at no modifier. It's a little proprietary. I'm going to add an additional -2 on both of those equations. So -5 technology, -2 first aid.
Okay. Minus. Okay. It's yet uninked. Okay. That's 3 successes.
Cool. So was it first aid or technology?
It was technology.
Okay. So with 3 successes, you're going to get a pretty good indication of what the machines are actively doing. But the readouts on the screens around you are mostly first aid based type stuff. They're like,
Is there anything
analyzing.
that 1 hit on a lore test would do?
No, but I do.
Okay.
Yeah, you have know it all. I get it.
Dang.
So these machines, from what you can tell, are designed to synthesize. They're like souped up, crazy versions of similar things you've seen both in Iron Harbor and in Porter's own work kit. He is making a substance, probably a tonic of sorts. He is doing something, and you could also, with your technology, and what you've witnessed so far, he is drawing something from you and Gus and his other test subjects, which you're not 100% sure what it is, but you know it is tied to your luminescence based on your experience and the fact that you can feel less shine in your body right now, and just everything that's happened to you so far. It seems somehow he is drawing samples from people, by his own admission, by invoking an emotional response from them, and then taking in that substance and trying to work it into something else. And judging by the way he has his lab configured and the types of machines that are attached to you, and the fact that he is putting in what looks like all the other samples you saw, looked kind of dull, looked kind of mostly like blood or plasma or something like that, right? It didn't look like a whole lot. There's a lot more of a glow, like a reddish glow, to the samples that he is putting into the machine now. A reddish glow that you recognize as kind of the tell that Gus has when he uses his illuminated powers.
Okay.
So you don't know exactly what he is attempting to achieve, but you do realize that he is going to draw similar samples from you. He's already drawn a few. He's going to draw similar samples from you. He's reconfigured his machine in a way where it seems less like guesswork and more like he's figured it out. And he is going to draw similar samples from you and then combine the samples that he got from Gus and from you with other ingredients and other techniques to create potentially a tonic or a substance that the properties of which you are unsure of. And I guess with 3 successes, you can tell that this machinery, the stuff you're in, the thing he's doing to you right now, is not what's going to kill you. He said with confidence that you're going to be dead before your friends find you. It's not what he's doing to you. That's not going to kill you. And I think as you find yourself here with painful tools drilling into your body and samples being wrenched from you, and the realization that when he says you're going to die, this isn't even the worst of it. There's something else coming down the road that will kill you. That's where we're going to take our break. We're going to take a 10-minute break here. I got 10:12 on the clock, so we're going to go ahead and take a little 10-minute break. Or sorry, I got 10:02 on the clock. We'll see you guys at 10:12-ish. See you guys in about 10 minutes. Refresh your drinks. Use the bathroom. Predict what's going to happen to all of them as things are the momentum's picking up and Eloise is in danger. Bye!
Think about how you could be listening to Rico Kazak.
And we're back. So, those of you who are just joining us, our 4 drifters are separated. Eloise and Gus are captured by Brimstone. Dex and Porter are on the outskirts of Brimstone, trying to work their way into finding a potential avenue for rescue for their friends. And they're doing that in the mountains right now over Brimstone, and Eloise and Gus are still separated within Brimstone. Gus in his cell and Eloise in the lab of Ulysses Pruitt, who we also know to be Owen Lemaire. We left off with Eloise undergoing some painful experimentation as Pruitt kind of seems to be setting himself up for his basically what all of his research has been leading to. He seems very excited, very manic, hasn't slept. And Eloise, the last thing that happened when we jumped to break was that you realized that when Pruitt said that you would be dead when your friends arrived anyways, he wasn't referring to the experiment.
What do you mean?
What?
What do you mean?
Why would I said a whole lot of things there, miss?
That I was gonna die anyway.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get killed. I imagine you're gonna get killed. That's my guess. It'd kind of be weird if you weren't.
But not by you?
I don't think I need to. I think probably someone else is gonna do the job for me.
Why wouldn't you do it?
I don't do anything I don't need to.
Does that include practice shooting for your daddy?
Another utensil digs into your thigh, and without any roll, you lose a shine.
I lose a shine?
Yep.
Okay.
And then one of the little monitors on his console lights up green, and he goes, "Ha ha! Ah, I knew it. All right, this is gonna be perfect." Now, the fuck you say about my daddy?
Well, he didn't seem none too pleased with you, since you couldn't make that shot. Over and over.
Oh, I'm really. You know what? Maybe I will kill you. Now you're starting to give me a reason to. We don't need to talk about that son of a bitch. That was a long, long time ago, many lives ago, and I don't give no shits about that fella.
So you're an Everlat.
Penny for the smart lady. Yeah, I've been around for some time. I think I'm going on almost 250 years now at this point.
Okay. Well, what are you making?
Something that's going to get me where I want to go. Well, in a roundabout way. Something that's going to get someone what they want and get me where I want to go.
Where's that? I'm gonna die anyway. Don't you want somebody to talk to?
Not you.
They don't matter.
Not you. Go ahead and roll manipulate.
Okay. I bamboozle.
Okay.
6 times.
Okay.
Look
Well,
at
you're
you spending that grit.
I was,
I'm so proud.
I was okay. Well, okay, but I was gonna say you're at a -3, but yeah, okay, I'm on a -6 now.
Did you has Elle read any books about persuasion? About manipulation?
Eloise is down to 3 grit.
how to make friends and manipulate people.
It's actually no different, unfortunately. They are the same. I never really raised my lore past. I'm at a -3, but it isn't a bamboozle, right?
No. It's just because of the innate difficulty of what's going on. You're in a weird position. You don't have a lot of power here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to play those ego.
Oh my lord. That is a really, 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 really bad roll. Not like grave misfire bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have a
Okay.
6.
Okay. I have 2 8s and a 6.
Okay.
Hot damn.
Thank God for that friggin' bamboozle. Oh my goodness.
So he goes, now you. And he stops it for a second and goes, but what the heck? And he turns back and like swipes some monitors over, putting some data out of the way, and starts like working on other things. And he goes, you know what? It's honestly been a while since I've been able to have an honest conversation with someone. But I gotta tell you, you're signing your death warrant because now I'm gonna make you part of the deal.
It doesn't matter sooner or later, I guess, right?
You ask what I want to get back to? Well, in the strictest sense, I guess it's my pappy's grave.
Okay. What's there? You just have spite, or is there something more interesting?
Well, if the legends are to be believed, there's all sorts of stuff there. Go ahead and lose another shine. Let me know when you're out.
Is he looking at me right now?
Right now, no. He is messing with his monitors. You still have that collar. You still have that collar on, though.
I know.
What?
I would like to hear what he has to say, but if I think I'm going to lose another shine, I would instead like to do something. So,
okay.
I don't know when that.
Another shine after the second one I just said, or you're talking about the third?
Yeah, another one.
Okay, that's happening right now.
Okay.
What you're talking in response to the one I just said you're about to lose, right?
I've lost 2. I want to know when I'm losing.
Okay.
The third.
Never mind. So he goes, well, if legend is to be believed, the things people whisper about, Quentin Lemaire's reliquary, graveyard, tomb, they have whatever it is you want. They got treasures, they got power, they got weapons, they got whoever's telling the story tailors it to the person that they need. Or that they're talking to.
There?
I might be the only person alive right now who does know what's there. God, I hope so.
Okay. But why? You get to live forever. Why would you need anything else?
What's the point of living alone? You tell me, Ms. Reynolds. You got a man wandering through the mountains, ready to fall to his death or get shot trying to climb in through a window for you. You telling me that people are crazy when they're alone? Well, then I guess I'm crazy.
Wait.
You're about to lose another shine.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. I will lose it.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Maybe the next one. You don't have to be alone. There are resources that you could have at your fingertips.
You are adorably mortal. Honestly.
I don't have to be.
Right, honey. Right. He like
If
taps
you-
you on the cheek.
Oh, does he actual touch me?
He does actual touch you.
Oh, is this the thing I spend my shine on? Yeah. No, I don't. No. No, I could be.
Roman is dying.
I'm living for it all. I'm like, look, I've got Alf in my corner. Let's see what Addie's doing.
Okay. Yeah, I will say if it means my friends live, I would do anything.
All right. I just need you to do one thing for me, Miss Reynolds. You ready?
I activate. Hold on. I activate telepathy.
Okay. You will take hit point damage equal to the shine you use because you're still wearing that collar.
I know.
Okay.
Does it happen as I activate, or can I get anything out?
It happens as you activate.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I overcast by 3.
Okay. So you take additional hit point damage.
I have 1 hit point. I reach out to Gus. Dex and Porter. And Leo Riggs.
And Leo
I
Riggs.
don't know that they're not with him.
Oh, sure. Yeah, there'd be no reason for you to think
If
they
I-
weren't working with him. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Dex, Porter, and Gus. Gus, right now, we're gonna say it's evening time. Porter, you see the lights of Wyatt Chafee's plane coming into position. Under the cover of the mountainous terrain from Brimstone. You know he's about to drop off Parappa. Dex, you are well ahead of Porter along the mountainside in the middle of the night. Almost basically like effectively to the point where you want to be, to like set up your camp and all that. Gus, you hear the knocking on your door, as the second mealtime comes around. And you hear Alf say, back against the wall. And all 3 of you feel a familiar presence. Almost like a hand on the shoulder with the slight question of acceptance as the warm presence of Eloise Reynolds tries to enter your mind so that she can communicate with you.
Yeah.
Al, is that you?
I don't have a lot of time. Pruitt knows that you're coming, but he doesn't seem to want to. He's. I don't think he's telling Brimstone, but he says that we're all going to die. So, you just have to be careful. And Gus, I think he's done. He's figured out whatever it is. And I'm real sorry for everything that I get. But I think that this is. I think this is it. So, so you just have to be careful. I'm gonna try and stay. I'm just try and stay as much as I can. But I think this is Gus. You should go if you can. And he says you're nearby, Porter, and I want you to be real careful and help Gus.
Ms. Reynolds, he says, because your eyes glow and your skin
Mhm.
cracks as you overextend. And he goes, you stubborn, sneaky, I would almost like you if I didn't want you to die so goddamn bad. And he grabs your head, like hand on your, thumb on your forehead, pressing hard. And
Before he breaks the connection,
Mhm.
is there? I don't know if I can, because I don't have any cheating powers. But is there something that can I send something via this link mentally?
Yeah.
I
You
just
can.
want to like.
Eloise is going to have to resist an insight power.
That's fair. Whatever happens, I'm just trying to blast her with like a sense of like safety. Like we're coming. If anything, with all the meaning I can imbue with those two words of like safety and faith, I guess, I'd like to send her that. We're coming.
This is an incredible scene. I don't want to interrupt, but before this call ends, I have a question.
I have something also before the call ends. I'm so sorry.
I mean, everyone wants to say something, but that's the one thing that gets to come out before Eloise has to roll her test.
Sure. So Elle's got to roll first.
I have to roll now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this you attempting to assist Porter? Because I know you have the talent for that, right?
You know, that's exactly what I was intending to do.
That's
from the whole time.
totally what I was saying. Also, there's a +1 grit to Eloise from the pack walk. So Eloise, you are up to 4.
A pack walk, my dog.
All right. I need one more.
Do I get through to Leo Riggs?
You felt the connection happen. He has not communicated anything.
I didn't know if he was gonna ward it or not, basically.
It's like a freaking telepathic like 3-way call trap.
Fine. Really wants to be a 19. Take a +4.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
this was right.
All right. So, and then how many hit points have I lost?
Porter, do you say something to make that +4 happen?
You already said that was what I was rolling, right? So it's the if she is confident, basically it's like a sense of confidence that nothing is hopeless. She tends to go to this place where she's just like, I'm just gonna give myself up and sacrifice myself and it'll be fine. I'm trying. My support there is that you are important and you are not alone.
Yeah, the words are intertwined with emotion as well.
I would like to spend my grit to go it strong.
Okay.
What's
your highest?
14.
All right, so you are at 2 grit. I am at 16 grit. My highest is a 12.
It's a defense, so I don't need more than that.
Yeah, correct. Unless you have the thing that bounces things back. Do you have the thing that bounces things back?
Yeah.
Do you have reflective?
Let's go!
Do you have reflective warding?
Yeah.
Let's go!
Yes.
I took it last time.
Yes. Oh my god.
What happens? It's I
How
have
many? How
I
many
have a-
successes? How many successes?
so my defense, if it's a defense, I have 1.
That's
But if
what.
my 12 also counts.
No. You
Okay,
you
then
resolve
it's
the
just 1.
defense, and the net success
You
is
have
on
a
the defense.
grit to punch it.
No, I only have 2 grit.
Oh, but that is enough to twist the knife, but that's all your grit.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I should do that. This is the last roll. This
Uh,
is always his last roll, right?
So
Hey, it might be if you don't twist the knife.
he was attempting to use puppeteer on you.
Oh shit.
And so you said you got 1 success?
I twist the knife to do 2.
Oh my god.
It's just a short-lived effect. I'm gonna die here, but it's gonna be wonderful.
2 isn't even a short-lived effect. 2 is the rest of the combat round. So we're not in initiative or anything?
What? No, it's not.
Oh, do you have a no?
Yeah, 1
three,
success
three,
is-
3 is a short-lived effect. Oh, I'm looking at separate sense. Blah, blah.
No. It's
Blah.
1 is an action.
Yep,
2
yep.
is a
I was looking
short-lived
at separate
effect.
sense. Separate sense is different. Puppeteer, yeah, 2 is a short-lived effect. So you see his pupils go teal, and he goes, "Now, Miss Reynolds, I don't know what you're trying to do, but you are not going to."
Don't let go.
And he stops, and he doesn't let go. As you see a ring start to form around the teal glow in his eye, this golden ring appear as he tries to exert control over you, and you feel that energy, and even in your horribly contorted and pained state, you latch onto that and harness that energy, make it your own, and send it back at him.
I can you release me without letting me go? Can you reach the snaps or whatever?
I can. Fuck you. As his hand moves against his will to start undoing the tools. And he goes, 250 years. 250 fucking years. And I slip up right here? You fucking kidding me? What do you want? Let me finish my job. As his hand moves to unleash the other one. Yes, I almost got what I need.
I get to live.
Deal. I'll get you out of here myself.
Okay.
I need to let go. And you need to let me.
Gus too.
Deal.
Okay.
Anything else?
No. You can let go.
He whips his hand back. Steps back. That gold slides away from his eyes.
Don't you wish that you maybe thought of me in a little bit higher regard? Oh.
You are formidable. But if I make a direct promise, oh, God, it's so hard to break it.
I know you can. But I don't think you will. I think you live. by a set of rules like I do. I think you live for the game. It's too fun, isn't it?
You're gonna feel another sharp pain here, Ms. Reynolds. You don't have any shine left, right?
I have no shine.
You're gonna go unconscious.
Just straight up unconscious.
Yeah. Because you're gonna lose that. You said you have 1 hit point left, right?
I have 1 hit point left.
Yeah.
But can I not take
you can take an injury. Yeah. You lose 3 hit points,
Okay.
which can be a class 1 injury. And you're transmitting all this to Gus and Porter and Dex and Leo.
Yep. I'm off balance.
Gus.
I'd say so.
Everyone is doing something. Everyone just witnessed what happened. What is happening in everyone's immediate presence. Porter, the radio in your hand crackles as Parappa goes, "Hello? Hello?" Gus, the door opens, Alf walks in. Dex, you are seeing this as Oscar is starting to set up a camp. A much thinner camp. Like he knows you guys might move at any moment, so he's not setting up the whole shebang anymore. He's just kind of getting a little bit of stuff ready as you guys try to decide what to do. And you can see down below you, down that extremely long, mountainously long scree slope, the entrance to that waterway, that water intake valve. We get +1 grit to Eloise from Carnaxis.
That's a clutch grit. That's the grit that you need.
I need to know what everyone is attempting to do. Basically this is during the time, it's basically Eloise is in an immense amount of pain for about 2 minutes. As this final sample is ripped out of her.
Is the link still up or no?
The link is still up. She took an injury, so she didn't have to go unconscious. She still had an injury slot.
Great.
So yeah, what are you guys doing as Alf walks in?
Yeah, I would like to transmit my sight of Alf.
Dex, you see Alf Ralston at the end of a cell, holding a tray of food as the door gets shut behind him.
Small world.
And from the height, you assume this is Gus's point of view.
Yeah, Gus takes a step up from the wall, and he says, "Alf, I ain't hungry tonight. You and I are getting out of here."
What?
He'll take me to Pruitt. He'll tell you that's the plan. He'll tell you it's all fine. Alf, we're going right now. You're coming with me.
He's holding the tray, he doesn't know what to do with his hands as he's sitting there, and he goes, Breckenridge is dead.
I know, Alf.
What?
I mean, I didn't have to hear, but I know. That's what I've been trying to tell you the whole time in here. Ain't nobody gets out of here alive except for us two right here, right now. You take me to Pruitt. I'm about to do the nicest thing anybody's done for you since Dex holstered his guns out in the Badlands.
I need you to roll a manipulate test at a plus.
I'd like to assist.
At a plus.
Can it be? What I intend to do is intimidate.
Oh, well.
I love that you want to intimidate, but you're not intimidating Alf Ralston. You are appealing to his better nature.
All right, that's all right, I guess.
You are going to be at a before Porter even assists. You're going to be at a +6.
Okay, you can save your. I mean, that's a 17.
Oh, cool, Porter. You don't have to use your thing.
That's fair. You know what? You've got this.
I'm fine on this one.
Okay. That's wild. Hold on, reroll. Haha! I did get a success.
Okay.
That success was a 1.
Good. Then my 1 counts, but I'm gonna go ahead and Oh, 18s are always failures.
Yeah.
No, I gotta make some luck.
You also got a 1?
I got a 1 and an 18.
That's wild.
I'm gonna make my own luck twice. Oh, that one explodes.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I made my own luck twice. That's 4 successes.
Okay. He holds the tray, sits there, looks at you, and goes, "There's 4 guards outside. Can you take them?"
You tell him Pruitt says it's okay, and when we see him, he'll say that's so.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay. Also, Seth, you've become sideways. There you go. You got it. He like sets down the tray, like sits there for a second. He goes, "Right. Okay. Yeah. All right." And he like puts his hand on his gun and like gestures for you to stand in front of him.
Yeah, I go.
And he goes, "Prisoner coming out." And the door slides open, and the other soldiers like look at him, and one of them, she like kind of like leans up and goes, "What are you doing there, Ralston?" "Time for a transfer." "Transfer? You just dropping off food." He goes, "Nope. Food first, and then, well, I mean, we all heard Pruitt talking about his big break. He needs this one. I got the order from Schaefer himself. Now, odd that Schaefer wouldn't have told the rest of us." He goes, "You think Schaefer is able to keep up with that madman? You fucking kidding me? Look, hey, you can come with me if you want, but this fella's got to get to the lab. All right, I got it from Schaefer. Schaefer got it direct from Pruitt. I don't think there was much time. Something's going on here. You saw those lights flickering, right? Pruitt's doing his thing. All right, and I don't know about you, but I don't want to get in the way of Pruitt doing his fucking thing. Do you want to get in the way of Pruitt doing his fucking thing?" And they kind of sit there for a second and like look at each other. And then she goes, "Jesse, go with him." And one soldier's like, "Me?" And she goes, yeah. And he goes, "All right, prisoner transport, let's go." And Ralston and one soldier named Jesse start leading you towards the lab.
I love watching him slip back into being a piece of shit, but for good.
He's got the skills.
He's come full circle. Honestly, Alf's arc is the only arc I'm concerned with in this campaign, in this game.
It literally took a gunslinger choosing not to kill him when he absolutely 100% could.
Alf is an Everlight, just out there somewhere in the Badlands in every game I run from now on.
What about Dex and Porter? I'll jump to Dex, actually.
Well, can I feel Leo Riggs's presence on this call?
No. In fact, neither can Eloise at this point.
Could I at any point? I genuinely don't know if that's how telepathy works. I don't think it is.
I mean, it's not how it works. Look, there's nothing in the rules that say a dog can't play baseball or basketball. So or baseball. Dex,
He plays all of them.
does he? Does he in all the other movies? That's hilarious.
Oh, he really, really does.
Wow. Yeah. Dex, go ahead and roll a discipline check for me.
Okay.
This is going to be opposed, and I think just add a -2.
Okay. I don't know if the thing that gives people trying to use insight powers a -1 against me applies to his opposition here.
No.
I don't think so, right?
Nah, he's rolling insight stealth, and you're rolling insight observe. All right, you're up against an 11.
I have an 11.
Okay, you're the aggressor. One net success?
Yeah.
All right. You don't know for how long. You don't know if he even accepted it, but you get you feel that the energy that touches you and Porter and Gus and connects the two of you also reached out to Leo Riggs.
Okay. Yeah, basically as soon as I don't know if you can like talk under or over telepathy, right? Like basically as soon as there's an opportunity, Dex says, I mean, it's telepathy. You can tell it's for Leo Riggs.
Yeah, you can
Um,
send within the network of telepathic links. You can send like direct like thoughts to a certain person.
Okay, yeah, I send directly to Leo Riggs. I hope you're close to Brimstone. Your window's opening now.
Cool. You try to send that, and you can tell now that either he declined the connection from Eloise or he has left at the connection at this point.
So the reason I mentioned like under or over, Dex would have said that immediately.
Okay.
If it's possible to just like talk directly to someone and not like interrupt other things.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So the moment that it links together, you feel that it rent out to Leo Riggs. You reach out immediately, like as you see Eloise reversing the puppeteer and all this other stuff that's happening. And you send that out, and you know that it connected and that Leo heard it. And then you also feel him disconnect from the telepathic link.
And then I will look around to the people I'm with. I just got a telepathic link from our friend inside. Things are happening. We might need to move fast.
Arthur Ross just like pulls out a big old gun. All right, that's what I've been fucking waiting for. All the skulking around the mountains ain't what I signed up for.
God, Dex doesn't react, but Dan is fucking thrilled to watch this man pull out a big gun and be ready to party.
Oscar like is like setting down a 10 second, goes, all right, so is that what's the plan? And Lucille goes, I also would be interested in knowing exactly what we're doing. I mean, we got sleds. And Jess goes, I made 4 of them.
The situation is evolving. I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
What
about you, Porter? You hear Parapara on the other end of the line. You see Dex's point of view. You see Gus's point of view. You see Eloise's point of view. You can tell she's in immense pain as this final experiment is being done on her.
To Dex, I I ask, so rendezvous up top the mountain or at Brimstone?
How I guess I don't have a sense, Tommy. How long would it take Parappa and Porter to get to Brimstone? Like it's a long time,
yeah.
right?
To get to you, it's all day. To get to Brimstone by means of like quick travel, like just like fucking bum rushing down that river or something, they could do it in probably like 15 minutes.
Man. I think you and Parappa stay quiet, start moving along the river.
Good.
It seems like it might get loud in there from something else soon.
I said 15 minutes. I was very wrong.
Okay.
It's more like an hour.
Okay. That's great.
Unless Parappa has other modes of transportation. But on foot, it's going to be about an hour.
Yeah, I think Dex says the same thing all the same.
Cool.
Yeah. I kind of click on the short range radio and say, Parappa, landing site compromised. Tread carefully and follow the sign to me. We'll rendezvous. And do you have something else that you can ride, or are you on foot?
I can put something together.
Let's meet up first. Just come on up.
All right.
Be safe.
I have to know what this bomb maker can put together to ride on short notice.
Very excited.
The skill set between someone who's good at making bombs and someone who is a tinkerer is kind of negligible.
Yeah. Just a circle.
Is a circle. Yeah.
It's mostly just preference at that point. I mean, I can make like gadgets and vehicles, but I prefer to make bombs. And I'm very creative in the ways I use them, but ultimately I could do anything. Yeah, okay, Parappa starts making her way up to you. Eloise. The pain stops. And you see a golden light out of one of the large, like, chamber-sized, like, tubes. And he removes it, slides it into, like, the machinery with the other samples he got from you. And then he presses a couple buttons and, like, steps back and is like, oh, well, you'll be happy to know that Mr. Gurley's on his way here right now. Apparently, with some escort. But I'm willing to bet you took that opportunity to go ahead and tie a connection to you and your friends.
Yeah.
Howdy, he says to Eloise, as if talking to Dex and Porter and Gus. He goes, way I see it, 5 of us can just part ways after this. I'll get you and your friends out of here. You let me know which way you want to go. I'll make sure it happens. I just got one last bit of business to deal with after this is done, he says, gesturing back to like the massive like centrifuge that is like starting to whir up. And then I'm good to go. You're good to go. Ms. Reynolds, we might just see each other one time again in the future. Careful what you say to people. Careful the stories you tell.
Okay.
Give me just one moment, he says, and his eyes glow teal again. And Eloise, you know he doesn't have to say this out loud, but he does, either out of being exhausted and sleep deprived, or for the entertainment value for you. You're not sure, but he says, I know you're here. Quit skulking about. Let's have a talk. And then he walks over to a door that is not the door that you and Gus have been brought through multiple times. He presses another button and the door opens up. And then he goes back and the centrifuge keeps whirring. And then for Gus, there's a buzz. You get to the door. And there's a buzz. And the door doesn't open. And Ralston like says through the intercom, Mr. Gurley said you were expecting him, Mr. Dr. Pruitt. Mr. Gurley, I got you, he says, and he looks at Eloise and gives a wink. And he goes, you're going to have to wait just a little bit of a moment, though. You sit there tight. I just got one more conversation. He doesn't say. He says he takes his button off so Alf doesn't hear. And he says to Eloise, I just got one more conversation to have.
Is there somebody here?
The machine begins slowing down. And Eloise, I need you to roll an observe test for me.
There's no way I'm making this. I'm so hurt and tired.
Can we make observe tests through her eyes?
At -3.
I'll do it. Why not? I've got nowhere else to be looking.
Right.
Yeah, I'll roll a test I
Where are my
truly
dice?
believe I can succeed on.
2, 3. I have a 9.
I've got an 8.
I also have a 9.
Hey, I got a four.
This is actually unopposed, so I just need total
Oh.
successes.
2 successes.
2.
2 from
Just
Eloise,
one.
2 from Porter, 1 from Dex, 1 from Gus.
1. Yeah.
Okay, Gus and Dex, you see that that Pruitt hunches over what emerges. You don't quite see it for a moment as he does something with it. Eloise and Porter, you see 2 vials up out of this thing. They are a bright, pure, luminescent glow within a vial. And Pruitt pulls one out and then slides it into his arm and presses it down. And then he discards that one and grabs the other one. And that's what Dex and Gus see him turn around with, a single vial of this golden glow.
So he hid one? Or he took it?
He took it. He injected himself with the thing. And he turns around and he goes, oh, it fucking worked. Oh. He kind of like moves it around in his fingers, like kind of like almost recklessly, like twirling it around in his fingers. And then he goes over to Gus, what you understand to be where he keeps all of his notes, presses a button, the holographic display disappears, and he pulls out like a hard drive, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turns towards the door expectingly. And out of the shadows steps Leo Riggs.
Son of a bitch.
God damn it.
He's got his gun and his shield ready as he walks out. His mask has been removed, is hanging loosely around his chest, his eyes glowing green. Like, not even just like the normal, like, shade that he usually does. Like, he usually has a pretty, like, subtle tell where the color of his eyes just changes to green. This time they have a glow to them. And he steps around and he goes, so you're the ghost. And he goes, and you're the raven. And he sets the hard drive down and sets the vial down. And he goes, I gotta say, this worked better than I ever thought. And he slides it along the countertop and says, this here, all this, Leo, this is for you, baby. Everything I learned, everything you need to do, what is it? Raise illuminated people above all else? You want the power to control, you want the power to create, you want the power over luminescence itself. It is here. This is the handbook, Mr. Riggs. All you gotta do to get this is tell me where Leonard Yen and Patricia Davison are hiding. That's it. I know you had your people find out. I know you have a wide net of people. You tell me where that is. You want the gun. Of course I want the fucking gun. Got one already. Tell me where the other one is. And you don't need a reliquary anymore to get what you need. You want a weapon? I made one for you. Ain't even a weapon in there, boy. You got no fucking clue. You don't fucking know nothing. Child, take it. All your dreams, done. He raises his hand off of it. Tell me where the fuck they they are. Leo sits there for a second, looks at the vial, looks at the hard drive, looks at Eloise. He deactivates his shield and goes, honestly, mitochondria, as he holsters his weapon and goes, I heard all sorts of ghost stories about you. No offense. And his eyes shine green, and you see this like energy kind of pulse from him to Pruitt. And they stop talking out loud.
Remembering from Scruff's layout, how far is where he exited from Pruitt's lab? Like, how much travel time are we talking?
Who exited? Leo?
Scruff.
Oh, Scruff. Oh. I mean, it's not a short distance. He crawled for a really long time to get to the exit of the tube.
Okay.
It kind of depends on the method that you're trying to go at it. If you were standing at the end of the tube and there were no obstructions between you and the end of the tube, I guess it would take you probably, like, if you were just like running, probably like a couple minutes to get there. But like there's like terrain and you know, the tube itself is winding and there's fencing and those walls and all that other stuff. But like physical distance is actually not that far.
Sure. I
Like,
guess
in a direct line.
here's the question I really need answered. I assume I have to roll dice for. Obviously, Leo has some ulterior motive. Eloise seems to believe that Pruitt / Owen is going to get her and Gus out, and like he seems, what he said and the fact that he didn't kill her as soon as he was not puppeteered makes me believe that that's maybe true. I would like to try and get a read on Leo. Is he gonna fuck that up?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and roll your discipline.
Cool. I will bamboozle you 6 times.
And can I assist with that? Being on the mental link?
Yeah, absolutely. And for you, it's playing the player, so you can roll manipulate.
Love that.
I have a 3. And Dex, you'll get a bonus based on Porter's assist.
Take +4.
I have 4 net successes, including a 3 over your 3.
So Leo, you can tell that Leo's gonna want to he's gonna press a couple buttons on this thing and try to verify some of the data.
You know what? I'll twist the knife. Give me the 5th hit. I need to know this man's soul. It just feels right to know exactly what Leo Riggs wants across campaigns. I need to read this man.
So you can tell that Leo is going to confirm. He's going to go up and he's going to press a couple buttons and he's going to see the data, and presumably if he's not satisfied with it, he's just going to fucking start shooting. It doesn't matter. But if he is satisfied with it, you know that he's going to take the deal. And he's going to follow Pruitt's lead. You know that right now he is telepathically communicating with
yeah, I didn't need to roll
Owen.
dice to know that.
Yeah, to tell him where these two people are who presumably have the other gun. Which actually you and Porter know to be friends of Kinsey McCharlotte.
Oh yeah,
because Kinsey said
he told us the whole. He told us like
he told you
an
the story.
version.
Yeah, he told you the abridged version where it was the story of Owen Lemaire and these guns, or I guess not Owen Lemaire, but Quentin Lemaire. Quentin Lemaire's guns. He told you the story of Quentin Lemaire's guns, and he said Leo was after them, and that one of them was hidden away by people that Kinsey trusts. And so I guess you don't know for certain that the one that they're talking about are these two people, but like
We can infer.
it stands to reason. Yeah, it seems likely that these are the names of the two people who are currently hiding away one of the guns, and apparently Leo knows where they are. And then Leo is now telling, as he walks up to confirm the information on the like data pad, he is telling Owen Lemaire where those people are. Oh yeah, you can definitely infer, because Owen said, I already have one. So you know for sure the only one that's in hiding is these two people. So you know all that. You also can tell that Leo, like, as far as like fucking up and like just like being like, I'm gonna kill you anyways, type bullshit, like Leo's not gonna play that game. You can actually tell that Leo is intimidated by Owen. Leo is scared of Owen. But Leo is also open to the idea of something that isn't competing for Owen Lemaire to find these guns. Up until now, Leo has thought that the guns is like the only real, like, surefire, like, quick path to victory. Whatever he's heard about where they lead, it seemed that he thought that if he found that tomb, he would be able to like do his revolution quickly and with success. And now he is, as he looks at this data, seeing that he doesn't need the guns anymore. He doesn't need whatever mystery lies within the tomb of Quentin Lemaire via the tall tales he's heard. Mm-hmm. He has a real tangible tool to do what he wants. And because of that, he's telling Owen Lemaire where these two people are hiding the gun. And the only other thing you got is that you got 5 successes.
I did get 5 successes.
As Leo finishes looking at the data, he does like a quick glance. He doesn't spend a lot of time on it. He just like kind of glances at it, sees that it's there, and he sees like the readout, like the active scan on the serum. And he grabs it and he goes, you know, legend is that the ghost of Quentin Lemaire's son, Owen, is it? Still out and about trying to find his way to that tomb. What is it you're looking for there, Junior? And Pruitt goes, well, that's a tale for another time, friend. Our transaction is complete. Enjoy. And with that exchange, you see something that Owen Lemaire seems to have missed. Which is Leo Riggs still sees Owen as a threat to his ultimate goal. He sees Owen as someone who could eventually beat him and do whatever he wants to do. You presume it's because, well, I guess you don't have the information on Owen being a ghost or whatever, but you presume it's because he thinks that Owen has machinations that are unknowable. Right? And Leo doesn't like that, so he wants to kill Owen. But he doesn't seem confident that he can pull it off right now. But you also can tell he was fishing. He wasn't 100% sure that the ghost that he was talking to was Owen Lemaire. And now he knows. And with that, with 5 successes, Dex, you know that for whatever reason, Leo Riggs's next target is to find out more about Owen Lemaire. That's his next course of action as he injects this tonic into his arm. And you all 4 watch as Leo Riggs floats up off the ground. And the scarification on his neck and face recedes to thin, almost imperceptible lines. His eyes glow full on this deep, acidic green. And then he sets back down. And his eyes never stop being green. And he goes, "Pleasure doing business, Mr. Lemaire." And Owen says, "Until that day, then." And Leo says, "Until that day." And then he turns and walks out the door.
Wait.
He stops for like a split second, but not really. Like mid-stride, he slows his stride. Do you say anything else? He keeps walking.
I knew what his nature was. That's why I asked him not to leave. I understand.
Gus turns to Alf outside the door and says, "Oh, God dang it. Why can't anyone be doing the good version of what they say they're doing and not the evil version of what they say they're doing?"
What?
I have to
I'm
be.
getting at her, buddy. It's not safe.
I have to be a little forthcoming. I only got 1 hit on telepathy, so I think it is about to run out.
Oh, what's the time frame on it?
A few minutes.
Okay.
Like,
You have enough time to give one final message out to your friends before it fades away. Also, +1 grit to Dex from Argalam says, "A good boozle."
Very good, Boozle.
I can't keep it up much longer. I'm sorry. I don't have the energy. I'm glad I met you.
Is that it? That's the message you sent?
Hopefully leaving a tiny bit of space. Maybe.
Then to respond?
Yeah, just like a quick or something. I don't know.
Everyone gets
That's
to
what I
send one quick message back to Eloise, and then the connection drops.
I'll tell you what Gus does. Gus like nudges Alf and says, or is the other guard still with them?
Jesse.
I think Gus might still forget himself a little bit and be like, "Knock."
Sure. What about Dex and Porter?
I think Dex just sends back, "You are not dying here today."
And Porter just says, "See you soon."
The connection drops. And Gus, the door opens in front of you. And Pruitt says to both Alf and Jesse, "Thank you. Sorry for the delay. I'll take it from here."
Yeah. Alf, I need Alf to stay. Alf's coming with.
He blinks a couple times. Jesse looks confused. He turns to Jesse and goes, Yeah, all right. And then he walks up to Jesse, puts a hand on his shoulder, and says, "You go ahead and take a break, son." And then there's a glow from his eyes that is fierce. And Jesse's eyes start to bleed. And then Jesse falls to the ground, and Pruitt just slowly guides him to the ground as he begins convulsing and convulsing, and then stops, never making a sound the whole time.
Oh, dang it. I should have said both. Oh, God. Oh, no.
And he
Oh,
lets
Jesse,
go
that's
and looks
bad.
at his hands and he goes, "All right. Well, come on in."
Are we gonna get to leave?
The door shuts behind you, and Pruitt turns to the two of you, Eloise and Gus, and goes, "Right. So, freedom." And he snaps his fingers. He doesn't even touch the machinery around Eloise, and it detaches and falls down. And Eloise is free. And then he goes over and touches the stuff that is attaching you, like holding you together, Gus. And it vibrates violently before all of the nuts and bolts and like pistons all like snap, and it falls off of you. All the time his eyes just like glowing this bright teal.
I think Eloise falls to the ground.
Alf runs over to help you up.
Lad.
And Pruitt goes, "If I were to make a guess, your friends are taking the waterway. Either that or they're jumping to their deaths. I don't know what else they'd be pulling off. So, here's the key card." He tosses it to you.
Okay.
And he starts giving you direction. He's like, "Head down that hallway, go left, go right, go left, da 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 da." And he says, "There's going to be a few guards on the way, nothing you can't handle. The thing you got to worry about ain't the guards. There ain't that many between here and there. What you got to worry about is Fawcett and his folks. Everyone else is on patrol. They have schedules. Fawcett and his folks, as soon as something comes up, as soon as an alarm gets triggered, they're going to come running. And the way I understand it, they have a beef with the two of you. I really hope the two of you make it out alive. I'd love to have another chat with you one day."
It's fine, whatever. Is there stuff nearby?
Is your stuff nearby?
Yeah, I mean, you brought us in with our gear.
I don't know where they hide that at. I think it might be the other way.
All right, great, whatever. Okay. All right, we getting out of here?
Is there stuff that I can just like take? He's done here, right?
Yeah. He has completely removed all of the data from all of the terminals. He gave that to Leo Riggs.
I pick up a med kit, and I pick up anything that resembles machinery cubes.
There's got to be an Omni tool in here somewhere, right?
Yeah.
With this machinery.
Omni tool, you find an Omni tool and a first aid kit, both top tier quality. You also find multiple tonics, healing tonics, and other tonics if you want to just kind of sweep them in. But the ones you can easily identify are a handful of healing tonics.
And then I go over to Jesse and I take his armor.
Yeah, Jesse's very dead.
And I give it to...
Yeah, you take it off. He looks gruesome. He looks like he's been withered away from the inside.
That's gross.
Yeah, you think his brain is probably mush in his skull.
Neat. And I give it to Gus. I rip like the arms off because the arms are
take
too
the sleeves
small,
off.
Gus.
Yeah, obviously it's sleeveless armor for
Leather
Gus.
armored vest.
Yeah, Gus, you get heavy hardened armor.
All right. Well, okay. Guess we're going the big way. I mean, we could have Alf try to walk you out, and I'm there as backup.
I think we all go together.
All right, Alf, bud, this is the only way you're getting out of here. As we previously discussed, people don't leave Brimstone with their lives the way Brimstone wants them to.
Alf is just staring at Pruitt. Who's
yeah,
just standing there. Pruitt is standing there. He's like standing by one of the doors he told you to like go through. He's just waiting for your cue to like open them. He's like picking his nail. He looks like he's on top of the world.
I walk over I stumble over to him, honestly.
Take some healing tonics, please, El.
I will before we leave. And I'm gonna look him right in the eyes. And I'm gonna say, you kill those people. You end their suffering in there. And I indicate the room with all of the tube people. You don't need them anymore.
They ain't mine. I made a deal. And I like to be a man of my word when it suits me. Them's
Not
property
my
of Brimstone Garrison.
Fine. And I'll walk over and I'll do it myself.
He doesn't stop you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go over and you start messing with the consoles. I won't make you roll for it because it's time and there's not a huge pressure. You're able to detach basically all the life supports on all of those tubes, and you watch as they kind of dim down to black.
I'll pop a couple healing tonics while she's doing that.
Cool. And Pruitt goes, y'all ready? Meanwhile, Dex and Porter, you were making your way to try and meet up with Dex?
No, I was waiting for Parappa.
Parappa shows up.
Excellent.
Parappa shows up and goes, all right, this is maybe one of the more underprepared jobs I've been on. What are we doing?
We were fairly prepared, but the parameters of the job have suddenly changed.
Right. What are we doing?
Can you make us transport? We need to get to Brimstone fast when the time comes.
Sir, are you sending me to my death?
Absolutely not. No, we've got a fairly good chance here. We've got the plan, we've got the layout, we know most of what their schedule is for the guards, and we've got an escape.
And we have backup when we
right
land.
now- What's that?
We have backup when we land.
Oh, yes, exactly. We've got 4 people. Well, you know, if you got the people on the inside, that's 6. Maybe 7. I don't know. He seemed pretty cozy with one of the guards.
Give me a minute. And she quick fixes a powered glider together.
Sick.
Wow, that sounds like an item was made under pressure and something was modified.
Yeah. She makes a powered glider in a matter of like 10 to 15 seconds. She just fucking like she slaps down some materials and just starts like weld, and then like pulls out like some engine parts and like shoves them together, and then like pulls out like some fucking circuitry that like is like glowing with some luminescent energy and like jams it in there, and it's like a power source. And she turns back and like kind of like holds it up above her head, and she says, "That one's you," and like points to like these 2 like arm hangers, and she goes, "It's not pretty, but it will work."
Yeah, but Porter, whilst he was doing this, like probably a couple of times, tried to like pop in and assist with the Omni tool. And I was like, "Oh, you're already doing that. Oh, what if we just? Oh, okay, you're very good, yeah." And then she holds up this one. It's like, I guess that was mine.
Normal powered gliders have like either seats or like harnesses. This is literally just like holding on to like handlebars on an engine with wings. And then she goes, "You got to run with me." And then the 2 of you run to the edge of this thing and leap off. And it goes flying off. Dex, what about you and the other drifters?
I think Dex is still waiting as like the telepathic link ends, like looking for some kind of sign that anything is happening. Can I see the powered glider? Like I'm scanning around with binoculars and night vision goggles.
Yeah, you're able to like, you know exactly where to look. You see in the darkness of night, Porter and this woman leap off of a cliff together and start power gliding their way over towards the water intake tunnel.
Great. I walk up to Jess. Listen, I don't want the discussion of how much you feel you're owed to be in the middle of a gunfight. I don't think we have time for that. And I take out 20 spurs and I put it in her hand. If you feel this is too much, feel free to give it back. And if not, I don't care.
You know how to bargain.
And I look at everyone else. Time to go. And Dex descends the mountain.
Dex and Lucille Roberts and Arthur Ross and Jess Weaver and Oscar McCoy all start. Dex, you're not even using a sled, right?
I don't need one.
Yeah. So
Fuck off.
Arthur Ross, Lucille Roberts, Jess Weaver, Oscar McCoy, they all grab onto these, like, they're almost like paragliders that Jess has made to go down this scree slope. There's like a little bit of anti-grav tech at the nose of them. They're a little ramshackle, but they work. And then Dex, just like he says it's time to go, and then he turns and like takes like 2 steps, leaps up, his cloak like flows behind him as he just like points one leg in front of the other and starts sliding down. And Jess goes, all right, and then like jumps as well. Lucille also like right behind her, and then Ross and McCoy look at each other, and just for a second, McCoy says, "Are you first or me first?" And then Arthur goes, "Me first, obviously," and then jumps off as he does, and then McCoy follows in the end. So we got all of the drifters sliding down this scree slope. We'll have that test resolved at the beginning of next session. We got Porter, no test required because Parappa is steering as this power glider starts going to meet them. We got Eloise and Gus. The door slides open as Pruitt opens it for you. You take your healing tonics, you grab your materials from the lab, and Pruitt turns to you and says, "Well, here's where we part ways. For your sake, I hope it's permanent." And then he pulls out a gun and shoots himself in the head.
Beat me to it.
And as he pulls the trigger, you see the teal pupil light shine out. And then you see something a little strange. Pruitt's body collapses to the ground. And the teal, transparent form of another man stands before you. Completely different person. He's got sandy blonde hair, close cropped on the sides, and then braided on the top. He's wearing what could only be defined as like ancient clothes. His neck and arms and hands covered in tattoos. And his eyes, just these hot headlights of teal light. And he looks at his hands, looks around for a second, and goes, "That's new." Then disappears. That's where we're gonna end tonight's session.
Jeez.
So next season is Ghostbusters, right?
I want to make my random shot in the dark guess as to who the first version. Or wait, do we know who that person is, or can I take a random shot in the dark?
We I mean, we
That's-
know who that person is.
It's Owen Lemaire, right? I hope.
Oh, I thought there might have been like an original guy. I don't know.
Owen
I'm
Lemaire
not-
is the original
Yeah,
guy.
Owen Lemaire is
Owen
the
Lemaire
original.
is the original guy. For some reason, I was like, "What if?" Never mind. I'm dumb. I'm dumb, and this is well established.
Well, you weren't a part of season 1, so
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys are dumb for not bringing in this talent. Are you kidding me? This face, the moneymaker.
It's accurate.
Mustache that powerful. We just couldn't contain it in season 1.
That's a season 2 edition. That's fair. That's why Ted Lasso season 1 was so terrible. Introduced the mustache too early.
All right. So we got some questions in the Discord, and we're entering the Q&A. Also, Packwalk, thank you for the 300 bits.
Aww.
Thank you, Packwalk.
Packwalk, you're
Thank you.
nuts.
Let's fucking
Love you, bud.
go. Y'all have been crazy about the bits this session. We're 26.91% of the way to the radio play.
That's
Repeating, of
wild.
course.
Repeating, of course.
Mm-hmm. Y'all
Um,
didn't hear it from me, but Packwalk has so many knives at all times.
All right. So we got some questions in the Discord for the Twitch, but if you have any questions about the campaign, about the players, about the game, about anything, now's your chance. Put it in the Twitch chat, and we will answer these questions. We're going to do a quick Q&A here. So, wait, am I looking at the right one? I am. Argot Lom asks, another character concept to create.
He cranked it too hard.
You're right there, Seth.
Wonderful.
Ariel asked in the Discord, let's build the Jailbreaker. I don't know that character.
It's an idea more than a
It's an
character.
idea, yeah.
That's what I guessed. Yeah.
Abstract
Like the
concept.
person who can break out of jail.
Got it. Notable traits. Master planner, cannot be contained through mortal means. Almost certainly has fashioned literally everything in their immediate vicinity into a deadly weapon. Okay.
Honestly, if you turned Eloise and Gus into a goo and mashed them together and then like let it set, put it in a pressure pot, let it cure over about 48 hours, and then took it out of the mold, that's that.
Do that, but sprinkle little packs in there too.
I was gonna say, if Roy Hampton instead of Moxie had Braun, that was Roy Hampton. Roy Hampton's
was Roy
whole
Hampton.
shtick was, yeah, put the handcuffs on. This is fine. Anyways, so I think what we should do
Pretty boy Roy himself.
What did he have? Sure hand, subtlety?
No, he didn't have sure hands. He had subtlety, vigilance, and moxie.
Subtlety, vigilance, and moxie. So you're saying subtlety, vigilance, and brawn?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, or sure hands, really. Like, basically, it's an ability to, like, have a talent tree for weapon stuff. Because, like, subtlety, you absolutely need. That's what actually gets you through the locks.
Yeah.
And then Pinkerton, in particular, is extremely good for trying to break out of prison.
Yep. Yeah, vigilance has the Pinkerton talent. It's a tier 3 talent. It's very good for reading a situation. And yeah, subtlety, it's a not super often used, but there's the couple of talents that are like, hey, here's a bonus to picking locks, and also you don't have to worry about ever misfiring on locks ever again. Stuff like that. So there's really good ones in subtlety there. And then yeah, brawn makes sense, especially
I would think either brawn or know-how, because that
Sure.
you can fashion literal anything into anything.
Yeah,
sure.
know-how would also be very good.
yeah,
Basically, brawn would let you use the weapons extremely well. Know-how would let you make them.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Know-how has
Braun lets you rip a bar off the wall and then beat everyone to death. Know-how lets you fashion your bench into a
still
gun.
has a micro EMP, right?
I do.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. Also, a couple cheating powers wouldn't help or wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, being
Listen,
illuminated.
if you can
is awesome.
cheat.
Yeah.
Best way to directly weaponize the various bits of gravity control tech you can find around Manifest.
Run over somebody with a hover car?
I mean, yes, currently that is one of the
there
best
was
ways.
literally the car. What's Red Wheel's car from Series
Yeah.
1? Yeah,
He's
100%.
fast and good at hitting things.
That was my favorite creation, because I was like, I want to make the best ramming van I possibly can, because
So
the thing
close.
is your damage in a ram is based on your vehicle's body and also like the speed a bit. So like you want to find that balance, and a lot of times like it's like, oh, we'll go for a car. It gives you a lot more versatility, and then also you can get like kind of decent damage out of it. But I found out the van
If you make a
could give you the most damage. But and the most damage and the most survivability, and like you just gotta fucking lean into like hover tech and stuff like that to be able to compensate for the van's weaknesses, and it was absolutely worth it. That thing is my favorite creation.
A quick question: could you make like an anti-gravity mine that, like, when someone drives over on the road, it just like shoots their car into the sky?
I think part of the battle waypoint did that.
No, those were magnets.
Well, I thought there were two traps, weren't there? I thought there was.
There were like, oh yeah, that is, yeah.
Yeah. There were the magnet traps that took the proto-martyr armor and pulled it to the ground so they were stuck. And then I thought there was an anti-grav trap that when they stepped over it, they
just
got
like bounced them.
yeah, they went fucking flying.
Yeah. I mean, the same thing
As
could be done
always.
with like a very well-timed jumping yucky.
I was gonna say, as always, why not just use jumping yucky?
Yeah,
It's there. It grows naturally.
It's natural.
the
We don't need to
natural
produce.
It's natural.
You could sabotage someone's
Officer,
straps
it's
with
natural.
push harness
Yeah.
and then tell them it works.
Something like that, like a trap like that, would just be an unconventional general good where basically the GM would say, okay, that's going to be this many tech cubes, this many machinery cubes, depending on how effective you want it to be and like what effects you want on it. And then you would roll, and then you would have your thing, and it would be great. That's what happened with that. Gilliam Gert made all sorts of traps for the battle waypoint, and he had those anti-grav like bounce pads that did not come into play as much as the magnet ones, but that was just because of his positioning of them. Next up we have Let's Build Revenant from Apex. So let me explain Revenant from Apex real quick. Revenant is a character in Apex who lore-wise is an assassin whose brain was like put into some goo so he could be immortal, and then his consciousness is transmitted to various like terrifying skeleton bodies, and he continues to be an assassin. So he's an immortal assassin. You kill him, he just jumps into another one of those bodies. He can also control the other bodies, kind of like.
Be clear, they're like robotic frames.
Yeah. He has it's called a simulacrum in Apex. So yeah, he's got like robot bodies that he can beam his consciousness into, and then he uses that to murder people. He's been able to kill people with his hand. His hand's very sharp apparently, and he can stab it through people. And also he's just very sneaky and very good at climbing. He also has a thing where like he can put down like a temporary like respawn beacon where like when you can put it down, you can touch it, and then you can run off and fight some people, and if you die you just appear back there next to that spot. Those are Revenant's abilities in Apex. I mean, obviously the dude's got to be an Everlight in Manifest. Full on dude has to have Enlightenment talent tree, and he has to have the tier 4 ability Everlight. That way he can be an immortal who constantly is switching bodies. Beyond that, I guess subtlety, because of the assassin bit. If you go into the 2 tier 4 talents and subtlety, you are pure assassin creed, like death monster.
And now you're out of talent points.
Yeah, that's it. It doesn't matter what the third tree is. That's it. Everlight and the 2 tier 4 talents and subtlety, and you are immortal and able to always hide from people and always kill them when you attack them from hiding.
I think you have 1 talent point left over because there's not a tier 1 linked to the sneak attack tree.
Okay.
So you could have 1 more point somewhere.
Yeah. So
he's just currently in a heavily prosthetic person.
yeah.
Maybe he's got
pretty
that
much.
one intimidate talent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
As I recall, he says some messed up stuff.
He
This is some very
does.
messed
He
up
says some
stuff.
messed up stuff. He's terrifying. He does rely a little bit on the spooky tactics. He tries to like come out of the shadows and say something terrifying. He does a little bit of a whole like building his mystique as this terrifying murder monster thing. So intimidate would make sense.
If you can get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Gus was riding that brand for a while.
If only he didn't get second thoughts, he could just murder everyone in this place.
That's a real shame. Morals.
Yeah. So I think that's the best way to do Revenant right now. And I guess you would play him as a person who prefers to take over the body of highly cybernetic people. Like, it'd be great if he could have all those things and then also have Brawn for the hand stabbiness, because there is a talent in Brawn that lets you attack and ignore all of the armor on somebody with your hand.
Yeah.
If you don't get hiding spots, you still have to roll dice to hide.
Okay.
You could also get Iron Palm.
Worth it. I think that's it. I think that's the build. If I had to build Revenant, I would do that. I would give up the automatic success on hiding spot so that I could always just fucking murder. Like, I could kill a bunch of people, and then when I got spotted, stab my hand right through a guy. All right. And then the last question from Arget Lam in the chat, or at least in the Discord. Those of you who have any questions in the chat, do it. This one is primarily a Tommy question, but everyone can sort of pile on as they see fit. Where does your dark hunger for arms stem from? The earliest example Arget Lam is aware of was in Series 5 of the Essential NPCs podcast when I took Yama's arm. But there are, as he assumes, earlier examples. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, 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 no. What happened? Did the internet just go out? What has happened? Can you guys hear me in the chat? Discord broke. Discord broke. Look at that. Hold on. Hold on. You guys can still hear me, right?
I'm here. I assume because your internet went out that OBS killed, right?
I don't know. Tommy was there. We can hear you, Addie.
I saw Tommy for a second, yeah, and then all of y'all dropped out.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, Tommy. Okay, it looks like on stream we're here.
Yeah.
We're here.
They could
Oh,
hear
amazing.
they could hear me, but
Yeah, they could hear
my
you.
Discord. So our internet didn't crash or anything like that, but my Discord crashed.
Oh,
And my Discord is the thing that gets us everything.
yes. Are we streaming now?
Yes.
We're
No, we were
streaming.
streaming the whole time.
Yeah,
They could hear me the whole time. My Discord just broke, so they could see me, but you guys are frozen. And then Discord was like, I don't know what's going on. So I had to restart Discord.
It fucking beefed it on our end as well.
Okay.
Like in the Discord call, like the call ate it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Discord
Well,
had
the
it.
call ate
Discord had a problem for a second there. All right. Anyways,
Anyways,
you guys heard the thing.
Arms.
Y'all read the thing. Arms. I'm interested to hear what everyone else's take is on this before I answer it.
some say Tommy's hunger for arms always existed from the beginning of time. It spent its time wandering the universe until it finally found Tommy as a host. It'll still be there after we're all long dead.
Everyone has their proclivities.
My God.
I tried to
Let's-
time that just right, and I did. Yes.
What's your take, Addie?
I'm trying to remember.
And
if
what was
there
the very first limb?
All right, let me
I
tell you the fucking story because I know where the arm hunger comes from.
I think it's Brother Theodore, right?
Let's all transport our minds back several years. Manifest is just this fun game that Tommy's made up, and we play it together every week. And it's Addie's birthday, so we're gonna run a cool giant session in the basement using like Warhammer terrain. It's great. We finally come up with a way to level up characters. There's talents now. They weren't there before. You couldn't level up characters. And along with the talent points comes a little system called injuries. Injuries are here now. Instead of taking damage, you could just take an injury. So we're fighting in this town.
We just gotten in, right?
It was fucking early in the fight.
Yeah.
I'm playing a man named Brother Theodore, a mountain of a man, wielding 2 heavy melee weapons because for the first time, the talent that let you do that existed. And I happen to be standing sort of in the middle of our group of heroes, not because I was the main character, I was extremely not. I was a tertiary character, but I was big, and I had 2 axes, and I think I was the only, like, get up and punch people to death guy.
Yeah.
And Tommy's got injuries on the mind. And so he starts shooting full auto guns at us. And decides when he shoots at the right side of the group, Brother Theodore's on the edge of it. When he shoots at the left side of the group, Brother Theodore's on the end of it.
I forgot about that.
Brother Theodore gets shot, I believe, upwards of 7 or 8 times.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
eventually, it's just too much. The man cannot take it, and I have to take an injury because I'm rolling at fucking 4s. Well, the arm just pops right off.
But here's the thing, that was a 3-day fight, and you
10 minutes into the fight, the arm comes clear off.
and did that stop you?
No, I was very illuminated. I used telekinesis to pick up my other arm, still holding the axe and swing it around at people.
Really,
doctor
you started
tried to
playing
reattach
TDK.
it. The doctor tried to reattach it and failed, and so Theodore
Cyrus.
was like,
Iris. Yeah.
Cyrus from the podcast, famously putting an arm back on there, redeeming himself.
Everybody remember Pops? He never lost an arm. It popped off. He sewed that thing right back up. He learned his lesson.
Couldn't quite get it the first time he saw an arm come off. And then I believe to this day, I am the only person who has had a not narratively predetermined death in a session run by Tommy, as later he killed me with 2
with the
chains-
heavy,
with 2
the heavy
chainsaw sword wielding henchwomen.
that they could only do because we had talents.
Yeah, and then anyways, like 4 or 5 years later, we were like playing the Star Wars RPG to get ready to learn it to record it for the podcast, and he took my arm again.
It's Armageddon out here.
The reason Tommy wants arms so bad is because he's tasted of mine, and now he's chasing the high forever.
In Tommy's dreams, he is Goro. And he knows that he can't make that happen in the world, and so he seeks the arms in the imagination, so that in his dreams he can take Dan's character's arms and he can attach them to his own body, and he can run around in his dreams as Goro, sort of like a Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger manifesting these arms in our world, so he could take them into the dream realm.
But that was before Yama lost an arm.
That was way before you.
Yeah.
Way before Yama, and at that point, Tommy at that point, I think, thought maybe it'll be the same if I just take an arm of an NPC. It'll taste just as good.
You know, it didn't.
I'll be a vegetarian like the vampires in Twilight.
He was a beloved
Also-
NPC. I thought, oh man, I'll take his arm and it will be a whole thing. And then I was like, I mean, that was fine.
Also, spoilers for that season, he's killed me twice.
Dan does have the highest death count as my player characters, for sure. I don't know. I think I've killed like 1 or 2 other characters, or 2 like total, on top of the like 3 or 4 characters of Dan's that I've killed.
He hungry for me.
But inversely, whenever Dan and I are both players in a campaign, we always get married.
They always get married.
We don't even have to both be players, Tommy.
It's true. Yeah.
Jesus.
Because in the podcast in season 9 Manifest, we got married and I was the GM. I had created an NPC for you to marry.
And in Shadowrun as well.
Also in Shadowrun.
Did we get married when I was running Shadowrun also?
Not on the air.
Oh, okay.
No, on the air.
Oh, no. I mean, yeah. No. Yeah. Didn't in the second season, weren't you guys
Bumbles
married?
got married.
No.
No.
That was,
That
They
was
got
the
married.
epilogue.
They got married after Bumbles died.
yes.
Yeah, that was the epilogue to see.
The
series
epilogue
5.
was that. Yeah. Okay, so twice I was the GM and I created an NPC for Dan to marry
And in Manifest, right?
with Eliza
Because
and Roy.
and
Yeah.
Eliza.
Roy and Eliza.
Yeah.
Roy and
And then-
Eliza Valancourt.
And then when we were both players,
Astrid and Galador.
yeah, there
or
was the
whatever.
D&D campaign where we got married.
I've only married Tommy once. I've married Tommy as many times as I've had sex with a toxic spirit that makes me turn crazy and evil.
Was that the
which
same
is
campaign?
weird. It's weird. No,
No.
because one of them was Manifest and it's weird that those are equal in me and Tommy's place.
I think he has killed or maimed me the same amount of times as we've married each other.
I gotta balance the
Y'all are very
scales.
cold, real cinemancy relationship.
Okay, all right, okay, we're done.
I want to answer Carnaxis's little thing first, though. So Carnaxis says, "Please tell me someone videoed that game, the Battle for Waypoint, or Liberation."
It was
Serpent's
Liberation of Serpent's Point.
That's
the
it.
first time.
Yeah. And the answer is no, that we did stream it to our friend who just fell asleep. And-
You didn't have to
I
mention
forgot.
that. He didn't need
but-
that smoke.
but a friend that we love. But the novellas that are coming out for Manifest depict the build up to the liberation of Serpent's Point, including the actual battle, that 3-day battle. So eventually you will be able to experience it in some form other than our jumbled retelling.
God. You gonna do it again and I'm gonna have to read about it? I'm gonna have to proofread my own arm coming off before I
Yes.
am built.
Also, punch up
Absolutely.
Keep punching up that story for when we have to tell it again at our panels eventually at cons and everything.
Yeah.
We do it once Critical Role opens for us.
Yes, exactly.
Ooh, I'm excited for that day.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
All right.
I'm gonna tell
Alright.
Matt to get me water, and he won't, but he'll know that I wasn't out of line.
Oh my
You're here
god.
first. You're more famous than anyone else playing RPGs on the internet.
That's right, baby. Just check the Twitch earnings.
Yo, okay.
Let's
This
We should
this
leave
this
now.
Q&A has gone so off the rails. We are going to wrap it up tonight. We are going to be back on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central, Tuesday the 9th of November. We're going to watch as these 4 drifters inevitably roll initiative as they fight their way to each other through Brimstone with a good amount of advantage on their side. And that's gonna be it. Catch it if you haven't already. Follow, subscribe, all that goodness. And we will see you next week. Thank you all so much. We love you. Goodbye.